Good num num numbing. Hello YouTube, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome back to Session 4, Final Fantasy 16. We're back on it, we're back on the grind. Last time we left off, we, spoilers, lost Sid. We gained the powers of Ramu. So we now have a third whole, skill set to mess with. Also, I only learned this watching someone else play the game, and I was kind of like, oh, that's a thing. At any point on these skill trees, I could have pressed triangle, and it would tell me what you get for upgrading them. So you can figure out what to do. So I've upgraded Rook Gambit, but the reason why it takes 1,000 to master is because if you master it, it gives you the ability to actually equip it to any other moveset. So if you max them out, you could just mix and match any of this. You know, you can just mix and match any of this to better suit your playstyle. Like if you want Phoenix skills on Ramu because you want the shot lock or the blind justice it's called sort of thing, you can. You just got to max it out first. Which I just thought was pretty damn sick. I just didn't realize that. Also, hey, A1 man, hope you're doing well. Right now I feel like I'm being the only person without a code for reverie. Oof. So the hidden depth. Yeah, it certainly feels that way. It feels like there's a lot under the hood. If you check this, it's upgrades, adds another limit break, adds a third. Some of these are simple, but then you get some of them and it's widens the area of effect and potency, also allows you to assign it to other icons. As one. But that tends to be the general thing, because I'm on the list to auto-request any new Gust title. Which is why I got a PR kit for Atelier Marie, last month. We had a bunch of pre-release material that I before it was actually released to the public sort of thing. But it doesn't mean I'm going to get access to review copies and whatnot, because it's just, you know, the biggest thing that tends to affect it is subscribers and consistent viewership. If you have loads of subscribers, but most of your streams have no one showing up to them, then you're not going to get a code. Equally, if you have decent streams, but you got no subs, it's not going to have that wide a reach. How do I find them? Well, at least with me, when I got to get onto the list, when Atelier Riser 3 was about to make the rounds, I say about to, it was 2 months before it was out, the official Gust PR team was sending out a notice saying, hey, do you want to be on the list to potentially receive a review copy or receive PR lists? Here's a link, click on it and fill out the details and we'll see. And the details was you know, what kind of content do you do? Is there an example of stuff you've already done for the company? So I tagged my playlists of other Atelier stuff. It's what's your subscriber count? What's the style of your content? Things like that. And you just answer a whole bunch of questions. I found it on I think it was Koei Tecmo Europe's Twitter was what I spotted it on. But anyway, to actually get on topic of the game, last time we lost our dear Sid, and we advanced 5 years, and we're on the hunt for Hugo Cup. Was it Kapka or Cup? The big guy, Titan, to get revenge from destroying our old hideout. And the reason why I'm here, back in the atrium, is because I went to go, mess around in arcade mode and realised there's a cutscene literally out this door. So I, when I saved here, I accidentally, locked myself in. Because as soon as you go to leave, a cutscene starts. I was oh, whoops. Maybe screwed then. I want a lot of content and genres. Oh, no, even if you go, I think it's more,
it looks good, Clive.
If you've done some things,
I'd had that brand for so long.
You can be involved.
What life was like without it. What it was like to be myself.
Oh, also they did officially remove the branding on Clive's cheek.
The scalpel did most of the work.
Or surgically removed then if it was a scalpel. I would have thought it would have been a burn scar. Oh, Gav's still around. Good.
All right, I'll have a look.
So I had to plat Berseria. After all, fair enough. Good luck, because that game, I love Berseria as much as the next person. You know I do. I'm never going to platinum that fucking game because it's so grindy.
Once the hall's swept, it's over to the Tavern Crown for me.
Even grind the Trails coins, not Trails, Tails coins, sorry, takes forever for it to do it. I know the quickest way to do it is to go to enemy grind mode and just get a really high score and get like a really good loop of doing it like ad nauseum. But it still takes forever. All of the get X amount things take forever. Getting to level 200 is like, what would they please? Like, why? Like, Tales of Arise is easier to platinum just because the level trophy is 100, not 200. Wonder why it's a bronze thing. 'Cause it's just grindy. It's I get it, because it's not a skill test. It's just grindy. Making the gold trophies the ones that require actual skill makes sense. Also, hi Jill, what are you doing in my room?
Otto was here earlier with a letter from Gav.
Oh, okay, let me
left it
just
on
check
the
this
desk.
letter then. At the reading table. Reports, letters, and other important missives addressed to Clive are delivered to the reading table in his chambers. New messages are always arriving, so make it a point to check the reading desk upon returning to the hideaway. Oh, that's kind of cute. Oh, if you buy the level DLC, that won't take you all the way. What you should do is pay attention to how much the level DLC boosts, and then make the difference before buying it. If it's like, say, for example, 50 levels, get to 150, then use it. Because if you get to 100, then use it, you've got 50 levels yet that are the more expensive levels to grind, you know? Oh, the thing with the Mystic Arts, though, is that some of them are permanently missable, which is why I think it gets the boost in terms of, like, what kind of trophy it is. Because, like, you only fight Phoenix a set number of times. You only fight, the Tales of Xillia pro tags a set number of times. You know, there's a bunch of them that if you don't get hit by their ones, when it gets to it, you just miss out on that trophy. Silver, yeah, maybe. Anyway, let's read this letter. Oh, he hasn't got an eye patch? Oh, come on. You mean he's just been, like, vibing with that scar? The Republican army marches on the Empire of Twinside, and the men of the Rock have been summoned to the front. Something big is brewing, I reckon. I will see you're done to wear upon my return. Everybody's super boss. Yeah, but the thing is, I've beaten every single super boss in Tales of Berseria as well, but I haven't got that trophy for seeing all the arts, because one of the bosses, I don't think ever hit me with it, and I don't know which one it is, and it's like, if I did a whole other playthrough, I'd have to, like, go through them all again and make sure I get hit by one.
Good news, then.
It's more than that. This is our chance. The one we've been waiting for.
I want to say that I really appreciate that this game doesn't do like the anime trope of the moment you pass 30 you look ancient. Clive's 33 and Jill I think is either 30 or 31 and they both still look really good. Like, you know, they haven't been like the anime trope of the moment you turn 30 you turn ancient. Like, they still look appropriate for their age.
But each time I reach for it, it's like something is holding me back.
Summoning an icon exacts a price not easily paid. Your body knows this only too well.
I mean, look at these two. If this is any other anime game, you wouldn't for a second believe they're 30, or in their 30s, you know?
And every burden I cannot bear falls to you.
This mission of
The
ours
scales
has made me
modelling, can you get all the way-
question
yeah.
everything I thought I knew. But one thing has become abundantly clear.
There's probably like a very easy grind, like in some in the game you can look up, but still.
In exchange
Oh, it's
for
playing the
momentary
prelude again.
comfort, we must endure a lifetime of pain, war after war, loss upon loss. And now? Now they rob us of our very homes, leaving naught but dust and ash. But you're trying to change that. We're trying to change that.
Yeah, our main man Clive is 33, and Jill here is, I think, either 30 or 31. I know she's a couple years younger than Clive, but I don't know exactly how many.
Try not to forget. We're only here because Joshua gave us a second chance. It would be a pity to waste such a precious gift.
Oh, do I still have the Phoenix server?
It was there.
Hey.
It wasn't
Okay,
an
so
illusion.
Clive does remember Josh being there, got it. He didn't think it was an hallucination or something. Oh, and he heard Ultima. I still think Ultima's our final boss. I'm like 99% certain Ultima's going to be our final boss on the other end of this.
If Joshua is still alive, he'll be looking for that thing.
Do you think he will ever come back?
The thing with people like getting on 16's case and like being overly critical on it, I guarantee you represent the minority, because this is the fastest selling PS5 exclusive, full stop. The only games that have sold faster than it are games that are multi-plat, like God of War Ragnarok being on PS4 as well. This game sold 3 million units on PS5, and it's only on PS5 in its first week.
Mother crystals.
This game is being overwhelmingly well received and beloved by literally everyone that's playing it. It's just a loud minority. And the reason why I can say this in confidence is because as someone who's been in Final Fantasy's existence since like Final Fantasy, well, 7's release-ish. I know I was born in 99, but you know what I mean, like since like that sort of era. It's the exact same spiel every single Final Fantasy. There's always people who make up complaints out of nothing, people that say it's not a real Final Fantasy, when every Final Fantasy is different. So they are all Final Fantasies, it's in the title. People who, the moment there's something slightly odd in the story, blame Nomura, even though he's not involved in any Final Fantasy except 7 Remake.
I knew that the blight spread ever more
You
swiftly
always get it,
always.
it's the exact same people every single time, doesn't matter what it is. 16 is doing phenomenally, and people are loving it. The people who have problems with it are just people who have problems with it.
It's only a matter of time before the twins are no more.
Also, Joshua looks great now. Joshua was... he's probably in his mid-20s now, I think?
And here we chase shadows.
Because I don't know how old he was when he was a kid, other than the fact that he was a kid. So fast forward now 18 years. If he was like 7 or 8 before, then yeah, like he would be somewhere in his mid to late 20s maybe. Guys, sounds like Ron Weasley. Yeah, you're not wrong.
A moment, if you... my apologies, I didn't mean to...
No, we were just having a drink. What's up, dude? What's up, Otto?
Not at all. We were just discussing
Yeah, that's fair enough.
strategy.
But yeah, like, because my first Final Fantasy was 4, but I was born in 99, so I guess it'd be closer to say since, like, Final Fantasy 8 and Final Fantasy 9, because that was 2000. But it's like every time a new Final Fantasy's come out, there's always been the same people that have gone, this isn't a Final Fantasy, or this extremely abstract minor thing ruins the entire game and it's the worst thing ever. And it's like, no, come on. If anything, it's more proof than it's a Final Fantasy, because it's got the same people, like, doing the exact same shit they've been doing for decades. This game, I can't stress enough, is the most pure-blooded Final Fantasy since Final Fantasy 9. Like, it genuinely is so insanely pure-blooded. It's, you know, it's about crystals, like Final Fantasy 1 through to 6. It's got wars as, like, a central focus point, like Final Fantasy 1 through to, like, 4. It's, you know, got these icons or summons being at the center of the plot, like Final Fantasy 5 and 6. It's so pure-bloodedly Final Fantasy that it's absurd that people are going, not my Final Fantasy. It's like, what, are you insane? Is the only Final Fantasy you ever played 7? Come on. Exactly. But it's always been like this. People just don't like the fact that Final Fantasy's been an ever-evolving franchise. They just want it to be the exact same thing they played as a kid, and it's never been that. Final Fantasy has never rested on its laurels for long. Final Fantasy VII wasn't one of the best-selling games ever made, especially during the PS1 era, because it was just Final Fantasy VI again, you know? It was because it was a complete radical reinvention of the wheel that attracted a whole new audience. Is it Noct voiced by Yuri? His English voice actor is Ray Chase. I don't know off the top of my head if Ray Chase does other stuff. I don't know about his Japanese actor, by the way, so that might be different entirely as well. Final Fantasy is one of those franchises that I tend to only play in English. And it's almost entirely 12's fault because of that, because although the Japanese version is good, and they got some amazing voice cast for the time, the English voice cast is something else in 12. It really is. I mean, Yuri Lowenthal. Oh no, Noctis is Ray Chase, not Yuri Lowenthal.
Sadly not. Molly used the last of the chocobo in a stew.
I don't, off the top of my head, I'm trying to think, has Yuri Lowenthal even been involved in a mainline Final Fantasy? I don't think he has, actually. English. Nah, that's fair enough. I think Yuri Lowenthal's got so caught up being, you know, literally Spider-Man in the Spider-Man games that he just doesn't get as much time for some of the other stuff. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, Yuri Lowenthal was Yosuke in all versions of Persona 4.
Finished sorting those reports yet?
That might be like where the confusion maybe is. Just to think of something where you might have heard his name.
Some lads from the Imperial garrison in Rosaria started a fight over at Martha's Rest.
Ugh.
Blood was spilled, bones were broken. The usual. But somewhere in the middle of it all, Martha vanished without a word to anyone. And that ain't like her, Clive. Something's not right.
You think this was planned?
In reason of normal reasons of JP, sadly. No, that's
Ever
fair
since
enough.
Eastpool, the Empire's been tightening its grip around the Duchy's balls. They've strung up everyone who's ever set eyes on a runaway.
I've tried Basilia both subbed and dubbed, and honestly, even if it might become a bit of a hot take, I actually radically prefer the dub. I think the voice cast for the English version of Basilia is amazing.
Enough to stay put.
It really is like an all-rounder of like all of them hit for me.
Complained that it was getting harder and harder to take bearers in.
And now she's missing. If she's fallen into the hands of the Empire, we could be next.
Couple of curse breakers are already on their way to the inn. They should help speed up the search. But if this is as bad as
Velvet's English actress is Ragnar the fucking Blood Edge as a kid.
Don't worry, Otto.
As in Blaze Blue's main character. Any background scene or like flashback scene, sorry, in the Blaze Blue games where you see Ragnar as a kid who's already got like the power of demons in him, is like killing shit, is voiced by Velvet Crow's actress. And it's like when you sit and you go, that tracks. That fucking tracks that, you know, the Velvet, this devouring demon, and Ragnar, this devouring demon, both have the same actress. Reviews for first subs. Obviously that's just each to their own. But I don't think I would have teared up towards certain scenes in Basilia as strongly as I did if it wasn't for the English voice cast carrying as strong as they did. As in, that's just me. Like, I've said it before, the only reason why I sometimes play games in subs isn't because of preference. It's usually because of consistency. Like, with the Outlier games, some of the games are dubbed, but some aren't. So for the sake of consistency, I just play them all subbed. Because then there's no mix and match. There's no suddenly Sophie's voiced by Netgear's actress, and then suddenly she's voiced by a Japanese actress. You know? Here's my... Yeah. What's over here, by the way? Oh, it's a diary. Whilst if they're all dubbed, then I'll usually play them all dubbed. How you doing, Taja?
Is not so kind to travelers these days. If you're bound for the rest,
I mean, like, that scene with Laphicet, like, Velvet's completely given up on life and is asking Laphicet to let her go to be pulled into a void that her, like, god-moded brother is making. And Laphicet just shouts and hollers his entire fucking soul at Velvet. Will you stop whining? That bit, that made me choke up so hard, like, when I first heard it. It was such a strong scene. No, I don't understand! That one. And if the world says it's a mistake to love you, I'll fight the whole world! Fuck yes, Laphicet, you go for it, man. How do I get down? Oh, okay, I was gonna say, as I saw that side quest over there, I was like, where's the lift? It's been a few days. Like, if there was any English voice actor that maybe I can kind of, like, oh, whoops, no, I don't want to go into the open world, whoops, I was just running around. But, like, maybe you could, like, I could understand the argument a bit more, is probably Rokuro. And I get that it's part of the voice direction, that he's always supposed to sound a little, like, not distant as in, like, moody distant as in just, like, aloof, and, like, not that caring about things and how he presents himself. But he's kind of a little too much in the English for me. Whilst in the Japanese, he sounds a little bit more like world-weary around him. Whilst in the English, he sounds more like he really doesn't care. And I don't mean as in like the actor doesn't care, I mean like the character doesn't care because he sounds too aloof in the direction. And that's about it. It's sort of there for me. And that's fair enough. I was kind of indifferent to Laphicet for most of the game until that scene. Because it was at that point that I understood why Tales of Berseria is part of the Tales of Motherhood sub-series. Because there are like 3 or 4 Tales of games that are nicknamed internally as the Tales of Motherhood games, and Berseria is one of them. And that was the scene that made me realise why it was called that, because it's the although Velvet isn't a mother, it's that's that idea of protecting family, that idea of being there for family, the idea of making your own family and being there for them. It was at that moment that Laphicet proved as being that family-esque character that Velvet needed, which is why she becomes more caring and more compassionate towards him afterwards.
Of course, Obolus. Your skiff is our only.
Or like when you go to the volcano and like Laphicet's brushing the hair and all that stuff. That they have more close scenes to them. It's like more like an actual family sort of thing. I know it's very found family, but yeah, it's the nickname of like that. I think it's Zilla. And like 2 others, but I don't play enough Tales to know. They're nicknamed the Tales of Motherhood.
In the Deadlands. Now, I'm not so unkind as to ask you to fell a far
like internally.
Forest and lug the logs back here to the mere.
Also, I have no idea what we're doing in this quest because I was talking through all of it.
We'll be needing a suitable alternative. And it just so happens I once heard the thorny pitchers of Curltail Falls cover themselves in a sticky wax to trap birds and beetles.
Yeah, but like you can have like
might be enough to tie
the sibling-esque dynamic and still have one sibling act more parental to the other, as in like advising and leading. Also, why is this quest called Cork and Balls? Did you see that? Look on the right. It's called. Okay, game. I see what you did there. Okay, I don't actually know. Slay Thorny Firstals at the Quarantile Falls. Okay. So we just gotta go slay some monsters. Okay, so there's trouble over at Martha's Rest. I don't like how ominous the music's become at the Hideaway. I might change that later on. God, jeez, is that the fire crystal? Now I understand like what the crystals are. It's like because like there was a giant crystal here, but we shattered that last time. That's probably the water crystal. That's purple. So was that electric crystal? Because purple tends to be electricity in Final Fantasy. And this one's red, so I'm guessing that's like fire crystal. Anyway, let's go to the free reads. I miss Velvet, to be fair. Like, I just want to go through... I might just go through Berseria again in my spare time, just for the sake of it. I really miss Velvet and Berseria's entire game. Right, where are we aiming for? Oh, kind of close. I just, like, I've been saying it for forever, but I just want a PS5 dedicated remaster solely for the excuse that they can get rid of the recording block. Because my previous hope was that when Sony did backwards compatibility, that the PS3 games that go on it wouldn't be streaming, that they would be full versions. Because then I could stream the PS3 version, because that naturally wouldn't be able to have recording block.
The trees don't have teeth.
Because yes, I would compromise and play the PS3 version if it meant being able to stream it some way. But then, like, firstly, it's not even on the list yet, and secondly, it's stream only, which stops you from being able to record. Yeah, it's more like the last time I went through Berseria was like I think 2019, so I think it's been long enough. The last time I went through it was a little before Tales of Arise came out to kind of refamiliarize, which is also partly why I became so critical on Tales of Arise. Because as much as I really enjoy that game for what it is, and it was my game of the year it came out, it didn't hold a candle to Berseria in a lot of ways. It was still a very fantastic game. It was just the comparison was night and day between the two. Berseria was way more engaging to me. and way more fun in general. Yeah, well, yeah. If I did go through it again, the missable trophies I would put like on my guide. I'd put on like a guide and make sure that I don't miss them again. So if I ever do go for the platinum, it will be easier to clean up because I've already done the heavenly steps and like grinded the ever-living shit out of that. Yeah. Well, at the time when I finished Tales of Arise, I remember making a comparison, and it confused a few people until I explained it, and I don't mind re-explaining. Going from Tales of Berseria to Tales of Arise reminded me exactly as from a kid going from Final Fantasy VII to Final Fantasy VIII. 8 is still a fantastic game, and funnily enough, both Tales of Arise and Final Fantasy VIII, their stories are centered around love stories, whilst, you know, 7 and Berseria are more rebellious in nature, although they're different, obviously. It's just interesting parallels. But it reminded me of that, where 7 felt like the best fucking thing ever, and 8 was great, but because it immediately followed the best fucking thing ever, it just felt kind of weak in places. But if you take it as its own beast, it's still a really great game. And it was the same deal with Berseria and Arise. Arise is great, but it was following peak fiction, so what was it going to do? He was another reference. Fair enough. When Final Fantasy VIII first came out, it was like heralded as like the worst thing ever made, and that Square Enix would be completely ashamed of themselves. And the reason being was that it wasn't more Final Fantasy VII. Square Enix at the time firmly believed that there was no way on this God's green earth they could replicate the magic of 7. So instead of trying to, made 8 and by proxy 9 very different games. Like, instead of trying to be what people may have wanted, they tried to make it instead what people may not have realized they wanted, something to like catch them by surprise. And 8 is a brilliant game in its own merit. It has a very strong focus of a love story. The way you build your stats is very different from every other Final Fantasy. With it being directly tied to your magic, you equip magic directly onto a stat. Like, you can equip Cure to HP and you get a health boost. You can equip, like, fire to attack, and you'll not only get an attack boost, but your weapon will do fire damage, etc, etc. It had a very clever, unique little gimmick for it all. But it went from 7 being about a group of rebels about a cause, to 8 being about a bunch of school students getting trained up to be mercenaries. And it just really, like, rubbed people the wrong way at the time, and they just didn't like it. I'm gonna stand Type 0. Yeah, Type Next is coming any day, I believe. Type Next coming any day. Type 0 is really good. It's very underrated. The fact that they confirmed a sequel was in the work called Type Next, and then that was 2015, and also the last time we ever fucking heard anything on it, I'm pretty sure that game's just been, like, shadow cancelled. Like, I'm pretty sure that game doesn't exist anymore, which is a real shame.
Ugh. Reeks like a chocobo's arse. Well, I don't suppose the Argo will mind as long as he stays above the waves.
I enjoyed Type 0. It's very quirky and different, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Same as me old
And it's one of those games, and it's like, I don't mean it in a detriment, you just have to understand when you're going into it, that it was originally intended for the PSP, and then ultimately released on the Vita. So although it's like a 3D action game, there is some jank here and there from its original PlayStation Portable, like, DNA. And as long as you understand that, you can get way more out of it. But it's a very detailed game. It's got a lot going on for it and a lot of side content. And the fact that you have 14 different characters and you can pick and choose which ones you want to play with is just really fun. I went with Machina, 7, and... I forget what the 10th member was called. Most of the members' names are references to what number they are, except 13 and 14, because 13 and 14 joined the group late and are integral to the plot. But like, it's like 7's literally called 7, 8's literally called 8, 9's literally called 9. Well, it's like the leader, like number 1's called Ace. Like, you know, like, all of them are like either references or direct named after numbers, from 1 through to 12. But I don't think 10's called 10. I think he was called X or something. But I honestly can't remember. Tyler of the Dragoon, yeah. I'm honestly, genuinely surprised we haven't had a Tactics remaster or remake. They don't even need to do like a full-blown like 3D remake. Look at Octopath Traveler and its HD 2D. Do that. Do that with tactics. That's what everyone thought triangle strategy was going to be when it was first teased. People saw triangle strategy and you went, tactics remake, and then it revealed it wasn't. Everyone went, huh. You know, like everyone thought that was going to be a tactics remake, and then it wasn't. It was weirdly named triangle strategy.
What happened here?
Oh, Jesus.
We need to find the others.
I'm sorry, Sid. We were too late. The Imperials have already left.
Imperials, god damn it. It's always the bloody Imperials.
Let's get you to a physical.
Sid? What said you'd be coming? I trust you don't mind. Also thought you might need some help.
But a Legend Dragoon remake would also be sick.
You,
because it would be a way to not only, you know, reinvent and, like, bring a modern visual style to, like, a classic, but it'd also be a way of introducing it to a whole new audience that may have missed out at the time because of various factors.
Any idea where?
Judging by their tracks, they headed towards Sorrowwise Bay.
Because a lot of people like point out, like, oh yeah, because it released at an awkward time, and all that is true. Because like even Final Fantasy IX didn't do as well in sales as 7 and 8 because it released in 2000 for the PS1. Like the PS1 was on its way out, and everyone was looking at the PS2. And so a lot of things that came out in that sort of time. Oh no, I didn't say new mechanics. I said like new coat of paint. Well, I meant more. Sorry.
Careful out there, Sid. You do the same.
More of like a really high quality remaster than a remake then. Because a full remake is usually when things get, you know, reinvented. Alright, let's make for the Abbey. Wait, no, not that Abbey, right? Not the Abbey I'm thinking of, right? Oh, they better have left the people there alone. I'm going to be personally upset if they've raided the Abbey.
It was a message.
But a culling. Bearers are the property of the Empire. The garrison wouldn't have the authority to act alone. The orders would have had to have come from higher up.
Is Clive's mother... I assume Clive's mother is still around being a monster. I bet she ordered this, because I really wouldn't put it past her. So much of this game would have been avoided if Clive's dad just divorced that bitch. Seriously. The addition system. More difficult.
If those Orsons touch an air on Mars,
register. Oh, right. Alright, we've got a bit of a trek to go, because there's no warp near it, right? No, okay, we just got to run over there. I need to upgrade Phoenix Shift. I looked at its upgrade list and it said extend the distance Phoenix Shift can go, and I was like, yeah, I kind of need that. The rhythm. So fast it was impossible to precisely time. After a while you just have to learn the rhythm, its prompts, rather than recognise. Oh, but I kind of like that as a system.
Look.
That you have to actually kind of like learn it in a rhythm phase, and instead of using your eyes, like use your soul. There you are, Martha. You're okay.
Don't worry about me. It's them at the Abbey who need you. You have to do something.
Tell us what happened.
What happened? The damn Black Shields, that's what happened.
The Black Shields?
The bastards caught wind. The abbot and I were helping bearers. They were gonna hang us both. When the sick rose from their beds, poor souls turned on the Imperials. Distracted them long enough for me to get away.
Then they may still be alive. Martha, do you think you can make it back to the inn? Cole is there with the other curse breakers.
I think so. Thank you, Clive.
You just have to map out the time of other set for actually nailing it. Give speed as the okay. Oh yeah, that kind of thing. You have to look like a madman and like plot everything out to get it.
And they fought to defend all her citizens.
Seems a step too far, even for the Empire.
Jesus, what, all of Clive's battle sounds have got more aggressive since he's aged up, I've noticed. He's a lot more... The characters. Oh, jeez. It reminds me of the Gunblade system from 8, where it had a system where when you go to do attacks, and especially if you go to do special skills as the main character Squall, you had to tap R1 in rhythm of the attacks. And there was a timing for like the easier attacks, but the harder ones, you just had to feel it out. Like there wasn't like an actual, like you can identify it, you just had to feel it out and know when to press it. All you got out of it was more damage, but it still was like a nice trade-off sort of thing. Because the idea is that Squall's sword is a gunblade, but the blade made like a spark when you press the button. So the idea is that you had to press the spark or flare up the spark on frame of contact with the enemy, because then it would do extra damage on top of it because you would burn them as well.
Are we too late?
There might still be someone inside.
Alright, let's hope that someone's still alive. Ah. Because this is the place that was trying to protect the bearers that were turning to stone. And they've just been massacred.
No.
It's kind of... Yeah, 8 was kind of like experimental in a lot of ways. Like every character kind of had a gimmick of some kind tied to them.
Spent.
Murderers. They drove the bearers to this.
Wait. These two aren't turned.
That bitch of an innkeeper must have sent them. Colluding with the enemies of the Empire is a serious offence.
Oh, please, getting on my bad side's a serious offence, you pricks.
And for their crimes shall they be punished. Such is the law.
12 is genuinely phenomenal.
We may purge the night and welcome.
It really is. It's a very fucking story-driven and political-driven. Not political as in like literal politics. I mean as in like war politics. Driven game. It's fucking crazy. And the amount of side content in it, like there's a reason why people say 12's like 200 hours long, because it really is. If you're going for absolutely everything 100%, the game takes half a lifetime. Which is funny because the main campaign isn't actually that long when you know what you're doing. I mean, it is. It's still like 40 to 60 hours, but still. Black Sheep. Yeah, because it's Final Fantasy 12 is literally a single-player MMO. Like it uses a lot of like the systems and formulas of the at the time like main MMO of Final Fantasy, which was 11, but just reconfigured to be a single-player game. When it first launched in the West, it had reduced complexity and some systems removed from the Japanese version, which is why a lot of people really came around to the game only when the HD remaster came out that, you know, just had all the extra content, because people got to truly experience it. But even the original 12 is still really good.
I didn't see the abbot. He may still be alive.
And the biggest thing that also helped with the remaster is that they added the ability to change the flow of time. Because 12 is such a gargantuan game that you kind of wish you could move quicker. So they added the ability to make the entire game's world run in double speed or quad speed at the tap of a button. And trust me, if I ever cover 12, and I've still got my Let's Play of 12 up, a good like 80% of that Let's Play I have in quad speed, and the last 20% in double speed. I almost never have it on neutral. I mean, heck, the ultimate super boss of the game, that video for my Let's Play is exactly 1 hour long, and the entire video is just the boss, and I fought the entire boss at quad speed. That's what I mean by the game's big and slow. And to be fair, it is also the hardest super boss in the game, so it's supposed to take you forever, but the fact it took me an hour at quad speed, you know? But it is a wonderful game that I highly recommend. And it's hilarious, because when I was a kid, I hated it. I came back to it with the remaster, and like most people who came back to the remaster, fell in love with it then. And I've since done like 4 playthroughs of it, which doesn't sound like a lot, but considering how gargantuanly long the game is, it's a lot.
Calling upon what little magic they had left in their bodies.
Clive.
No, because Yzmat has 28 million health points. That's why it takes forever.
We're friends of Martha.
But it's also one of the most interesting boss fights ever conceived. Not because of gimmicks and whatnot, but because at any fucking point you can leave the arena and the boss will just wait for you. You can leave the arena, hop in your airship, fly around the country, go to an inn and shop, completely restock on everything, get back on your airship, go all the way over to Yzmat's fight, go back and continue where you left off. All you have to do is, if you hang around the edge of the arena, but you're like Yzmat's aggroed on you, he will eventually cast regen, and that regen will carry on even if you leave. So if you go to leave, you just need to book it out and not linger. If he casts regen, you need to go in and dispel that regen and then leave, because otherwise that regen will carry on whilst you're gone. Why? Because on the original Final Fantasy XII, the intention of the fight was that they wanted it to feel like a complete long, like, events hunt for you to do. It's a big optional final challenge of the game. They wanted it to take you most, if not a whole day, to beat. And it's just because I knew all the tricks of the trade, I managed to get it down to under an hour, even with at quad speed.
We found a survivor.
It's not got the most health of a boss in Final Fantasy, but it's up there. It's the second highest. Oh, not Survivor anymore.
He's gone.
So why do people grey? These people are bearers that have been exploited their whole life. When you're a bearer, or a bearer of magic, the more you use it, the more it punishes your own body. And eventually, it will petrify you. It will literally turn you to stone. The reason why they're grey is because their whole bodies have been turned to stone.
But the bears...
The reason why this abbey was being protected is because bearers that were on the edge of their life were getting taken here.
But it was
To be, like, not protected or, like, cured, because there's no cure for being turned to stone, but basically just be given an easier final days, so they can die in somewhat peace and comfort instead of just turning to stone and dying in agony.
I've gathered the bearer's remains.
It was what was going on with Sid. Like, Sid, his arm had grey patches on it. Before everything kicked off and he died anyway. And it's why every time he used his powers, he coughed up blood, because his blood was literally petrifying. It was literally turning to stone, so it was killing him.
I'll get someone to...
And it will eventually start happening to Clive and Jill here, because they're both bearers of magic as well.
Cole and I will remain here and see to the Imperials.
Perform the casting and return to Martha's Rest. Wait for Riddick's jump. Which is... Oh, we haven't been down there yet. Oh, new area. So why is Clive fine? Because he's still younger-ish. It's not something that happens instantly. Keep in mind, people are born with the use of magic. Sid was older. And he'd been, from what we could tell, using it far more regularly for most of his life. Whilst Clive was barely using this for like 13 years straight and only awoken to Ifrits like 5 years ago. So it would have been much more recent that any effects could start the show. Whilst Sid, in comparison, it seemed like, from what we could tell, was using it since a very young age, pretty constant. That's an Ahriman. Is it got the same rules as an Ahriman? I'm so concerned. If this has got like the same classic rules as an Ahriman, we're in so much fucking trouble. Oh, it is an Ahriman! Oh no! Oh, there's a bounty out for it though. You know what? Bring it on then. My tune's changed. Let's try down to fight an Ahriman. Notorious marks. Every now and then, Clive may encounter larger creatures larger, faster, more ferocious than most. While flight is always an option, defeating these notorious marks can earn him not only renown, but also rare materials that can be used to craft new gear and upgrade existing items. The reason why I'm scared about Ahriman is because Ahrimans tend to have a skill called Doom, which casts a time limit on you, and if you don't kill them before the time limit's over, it can cast instant death. Fuck, speaking of, get out of here, get out of here. That might have been Doom. It might be a challenge then. Where you go? Oh, nightmare. If you know how to destroy them, they're fine. It's just... It doesn't change the fact that every time it's your first one in a new Final Fantasy, you're always nervous because you don't know how difficult they'll be.
Nice try.
Like, some of them aren't that bad, some of them will, like, make you hate your life. Arimans in 5 are, like, some of the most evilest fucking thing ever conjured, because they will just destroy you. Quagga? Oh god. Hey, I need to get out of here, because that thing's gonna kill us. Get out of here. Oh, that recovered from stagger well, hell quick. Okay, so Doom works different in this, I'm noticing. Oh, we interrupted it anyway. It's less insta-kill, more like it sets a trap on your position. Which is a hell of a nerf to Doom, but appreciated. Yeah, it summons a giant trap on you. And I bet that's an insta-kill though, because, you know, Doom's always supposed to be an insta-kill. Oh, nearly, basically 20k damage. Back the fuck up. Just get out of that. The fact that that trap sticks for ages before it actually shows up also makes me think it's probably hella dangerous to get caught by it. Ow. Let's try. Can this thing just die, please? It's so close. There we go. What is this we've been picking up?
You didn't see that coming.
Yeah, fuck you. Anyway. Is there a way I can check where it is we've been picked up? I imagine it's like notoriety, since it said it would increase your renown. But I don't know where I'd check. Can I get this? No. Where was the upgrade one I wanted? Oh, there it is. There. Longer reach. Oh, you won't be able to see Outfight. Oh yeah, because he only has one, the big eye, but you should see that one coming. I'm glad Clive's found a sense of humour.
Be the bridge.
Oh, 15 gil. Gee, better. Better than 2 gil that we were picking up before. I'm kind of like mixed on how I feel about Blind Justice, this thing. Because like this like just warps you straight to it. This is literally Nero's Devil Bringer, like yanks enemy to you. Whilst this like holds you in place and like sets up a shot. Like, I'm kind of mixed feelings on that yet. I'll figure it out as time goes on. It probably has like a really hyper-specific good purpose later on. I just haven't figured it out yet. Make a pun, I think Clive just... That was a cool thing to say. I wouldn't surprise me.
So shall the waters cleanse thee of thy burden. And bear it out to sea.
Terrifying. I am curious if it's going to go like...
Now they are truly free.
Full, you can only have... Like, you can have every single, like, icon we get equipped, or whether like, they make it so you can only have 3 equipped sort of thing.
A pyre was made. It's more than they deserve. We should go back. Cole is worried about Martha.
All right.
I bet that bridge will lower after we're done. Oh, just straight back. Whilst we're heading over, I also want to check the shop. Just 1 minute. A new scripted video is tomorrow. It's why I had that stream super short on Tuesday gone, because I needed to like do the finishing touches for it. So a new scripted video is coming tomorrow. Continuing where we left off, I am covering Doom 2. Doesn't mean I'm covering Doom 64 straight away, because like I mentioned it in the video, but I was starting to burn out just a smidge by the time we got there. By the time I was done with that, but I still had a lot of fun and had a lot to say.
Much obliged.
I don't know, fair enough. How much money? We have... Screw it, just so we have more music at the back, I'll buy that. What else are we spending our money on, really? You know?
That all, is it?
Finish voicing it, fair enough. I do want to like to cover Doom 64, Doom 3, Doom 2016, Doom Eternal at some point. It's just I don't want to burn out. Because Doom 2, to kind of spoil my review a little bit. Although I really liked the new edition, that being the super shotgun, and I really enjoyed the city levels, a lot of it felt like same verse as the first. Like, it felt like it didn't do enough to stand out different from Doom 1, and felt almost too on the nose similar. And I get the game was made in 10 months, and so of course it wasn't going to be that radically different, but it's like, it felt like if the super shotgun wasn't there, or the city levels weren't as good as they were, the entire game would just not have a reason to exist. But I still enjoyed it.
I'm sorry.
Don't have much. There's a lot more under the surface than meets the eye. It's what I enjoyed about them.
One of them bade me tell you not.
The problem is that Doom 2 just doesn't add enough. And it's why I'm excited for 64, because 64 adds the Unmaker, and the Unmaker single-handedly makes secrets worth getting. Because the whole point of the Unmaker is that the gun gets stronger the more secrets you find. It literally fuels the gun if you find a secret. And so that's immediately suddenly a new mechanic. Do you know, go for the secrets but end up fighting more hazards and dealing with more enemies? Or do you ignore the secrets but your Unmaker is less powerful than it could be? Because if a max upgraded Unmaker can kill the final boss in under 5 seconds. But you have to hunt down every single secret for it, you know? And it's like, that's an interesting new mechanic. That's an interesting new system that I'll have a lot of fun like talking about and breaking down how it works when I eventually get to Doom 64.
And in ordinary times you would have been right.
But Doom 2, if it wasn't for the super shotgun and the city levels, it would just kind of be like it would have just been a Doom 1 expansion.
Which begs the question.
Oh, and the Archvile. I have like such a love-hate relationship with the Archvile enemies, but still, that was cool in Doom 2. The idea of an enemy that was solely designed to skill check you and nothing else. It's not just an enemy in your way, it's designed to challenge your moveset directly. That was pretty fucking cool.
Preferably big ones. If those Imperials think they can come in here again and threaten my people, they're in for a rude awakening. Oh, before I forget...
no, it's a great mechanic. You know why? Because secrets are fucking worthless in Doom 1 and Doom 2. As soon as you get your arsenal, secrets become completely worthless. So in Doom 64, making it a trade-off of hunting secrets and potentially having...
I'll be ready should the Imperials...
On a casual playthrough, keep in mind, to jump the gun a little bit and spoil a bit, keep in mind one of the secrets requires you to go back for a level and destroy all 30 explosive barrels in a level, but in a hyper-precise order. No, you're not getting all the secrets on a casual playthrough for exploring. You'll get some and make the Unmaker pretty powerful, but you won't get all of them. Because that's the point. But the fact that secrets have gone from entirely fucking worthless to actually having value, no, that by itself completely justifies it. What's this plus? At least in my opinion. Mostly an NG plus thing. I'd say yes, but I honestly don't know if there is an NG plus in Doom 64, because I haven't gone through it properly yet. There is level select, so I imagine it works off that, like in that sense, but still. But in like every Doom game has level select, so that's why I'm like, it's kind of. What Like, heck, as soon as you start Doom 1, and I imagine it wasn't like this on the original release, this is more due to the PS4 remaster, but as soon as I fired up Doom 1, if I wanted to, I could literally just fire up the final boss. You have full access to the entire level select as soon as the game opens. Same with Doom 2. Which is why the trophy for beating the game isn't actually beat the game, it's beat every level. Because they know otherwise you could just load up the final level and beat it. If you were good enough. Appreciating it. I kind of get that. To be fair, the entire final boss can be trivialized in two ways. One of them is the Unmaker, the other one is by locking doors. And what I mean is, and it's also from secrets as well, like, I think it's like 4 specific secrets throughout the course of the game, which are far more complicated and harder to find. If you get them, get you a key. In the final boss, there's 4 giant, like, almost like garage-shaped rooms surrounding the arena that infinitely respawn enemies. If you find those keys, you can lock them up, so you can reduce the amount of enemies. So even if you don't find all 4, if you can find 1 or 2, you can lessen the load. But obviously if you find all 4, you can make it so it's just a 1v1 between you and the final boss. So if you genuinely followed a guide, for example, then yeah, you would entirely trivialize it. But if you're just doing casual and trying to explore, you'll be lucky to find like 2 keys. And you would probably only like get that Unmaker to about half of its strength. They bring the Unmaker back in Doom Eternal, but it works completely different in that game. In Doom Eternal, instead of it being when you get secrets, the Unmaker gets stronger, it's instead your reward for completely 100%ing the game. So you would have had to have beaten everything before you get it anyway. Which could be argued as the better way to handle it, but it's just different times. Doom 64 was 1996, I believe. And also Doom Eternal was 2020, so entirely different times of handling it.
Handy with that sword of yours. Of course you are. Bet you're a bloody
They actually nerfed the Unmaker in Eternal in an update, tragically. When it came out, there's a power-up you can pick up at random that temporarily gives you unlimited ammo. The way it used to work is that...
You heard me right.
That it'd give you unlimited ammo for everything except the BFG, basically to stop it becoming way too overpowered. In, I think it was Ancient Gods Part 2 DLC, they nerfed it so the Unmaker would also not have unlimited ammo during that power-up. So like it shared it with the BFG, which is a real shame because I remember using it before that patch, and yeah, I kind of get why they nerfed it because like you just get unlimited ammo, immediately swap to the Unmaker, hold the trigger down, and everything would just die. You know, there was no difficulty. So making it that doesn't count alongside the BFG, I was like, yeah, that tracks. That's fair enough. Go up a flock of chocobos. Considering this has got a plus on it, I imagine the reward will be better.
There's a good lad.
Where can I find these chocobos?
I saw him cut across the way over yonder.
Because, you know, this is also the same team as Final Fantasy XIV, and if FF14 teaches you anything, if a side quest has a plus symbol on it, it means it's really worth doing.
Her flock, you hear me? There ain't a pluckier bird in all the world. She's a hero to us locals. And don't worry.
But it was in a patch, so it doesn't matter if you got the DLC or not. It was the patch that came with it that nerfed the Unmaker.
Good luck to you.
But I'll talk about that when I get to Eternal. When I eventually get to Eternal, I'm going to talk about the base game and DLC separately. Like, the first video I do on Eternal will be on just the main game, and then Ancient Gods Part 1 and Part 2 I will talk about in another video, because Ancient Gods adds like another 10 to 15 hours to the game. Oh, I mean pre-patch. Oh, fair enough.
Whiteheart. That's quite a name for a chocobo.
Make it. But in the Ancient Gods, like, it's weird. I'll talk about it more when I get to it. Ancient Gods Part 1 is genuinely some of the hardest Doom content I've ever experienced, because it came out significantly after the main game, and like any game that's really clever with its DLC, paid attention to how people were beating and schooling the main game, and built its difficulty around challenging that. And so Part 1's super hard. But Part 2... early on in the DLC, you get access to a new weapon, and the new weapon gets like mandatory story buffs at set points throughout the game. That by the time you get to the last mission, it completely trivializes everything. It's absurdly overpowered. And so it'll be interesting when I get to it to talk about it, because, you know, like, part 1 is insanely hard, and part 2 it gets easier because you get literally, like, Zeus's hammer, or Thor's hammer, sorry, and when you slam it down, it makes these electric shockwaves that start killing things, and then every, like, story beat, you get, like, bigger shockwaves, or you can use it more often in a fight, or it regenerates your health when you use it now. Like, you get all these absurd upgrades for it, that by the time you get to the last level, and it's you versus Satan, you just kind of school everything on the way to him. At least Satan's immune to electricity, so you can't really use it on it, making it the only real challenge of the fight, of the DLC, but still. Amazing. Oh, what, the grav hammer. Or the gravity hammer. I missed the gravity hammer, that thing was so fucking cool. And then 343 like nerfed the shit out of it by giving it like negative range. Like in Halo 3 and Reach, it felt like it was like this unstoppable Doom weapon. And I love the fact that if you were good, you could beat an energy sword every single time, because the hammer had slightly more range. Obviously there was tricks to the sword as well, because the sword also has a very sneaky range that you could use to snipe in, but it was the fact that you could have like a real good, like, almost like Star Wars battle with it. But in Halo 4, they just nerfed its range significantly. If I ever get like a full capture card set up and whatnot, I genuinely might at some point stream some Halo, because I do miss those games. I've got the Master Chief Collection on my Xbox One, and I could stream that. Heck, I'd probably do some multiplayer streams with chat if I ever reached a point, but like, hey, let's do like an MCC game night.
Not around here, they won't.
Carbine, snipers, and especially... Yeah, Halo 1's pistol is always iconic for its power.
Because she's something of a
I was a real punk with classic Halo. I was plasma pistol battle rifle in Halo 3 and plasma pistol DMR in Reach, because you do fully charged plasma pistol, get rid of the shield, and it's only one tap. You basically you force them to play SWAT. Oh, there's a mage back there. Hang on. Hey, bitch, how we doing today? It's not as scummy as I did with Halo 4, because Halo 4, the Promethean pistol is a pocket shotgun and works as a pocket shotgun. So the fact that you can just have a shotgun on your arsenal, I always had it with me, but it really used to piss people off because you could just go around corners and one-tap people. But I love classic Halo because it's the most, like, one of the most pure-blooded skill check or multiplayer games. Because every gun shoots exactly where it says it's going to shoot, you know? You look at the reticle, your bullet's going exactly where that marker is, and not around it in its general area like a Call of Duty, you know? Halo 4 isn't bad? I agree. I love Halo 4 now. I liked it when it came out, but I had a lot of problems with it. But about 6 months after it came out, with the release of the Pit, they did a huge overhaul balance update and reworked a bunch of shit, and the game really came into its own after that, and I really loved it. It just had some like kinks to iron out when it first came out. Halo 5, on the other hand, if you try to convince me that game's anything better than awful, I'll respect your opinion, but I won't agree. I genuinely fucking hated 5. I thought 5 was miserable. And I loved 4's campaign. 4's campaign is absurdly like busted and like glitchy when you know where to go, but the fact that almost all the glitches you have to go find yourself, they're just there, just make them more fun speedrun text and, you know, the game is bad, broken, you know? The last time I went through it, which was on MCC, I only had one actual, like, in the way glitch, where there was a point in, like, I think it was mission 6, when you're on the shuttle near the Halo ring, where I, like, glitched through the floor by accident. No, mission 7, sorry. Mission 6 is when you're in the giant ship and you're flying between all the structures, with the Didact whispering in your ears after like Cortana's just had her moment of like freaking out. Cross-platform with Steam? I believe it is. I remember reading something about it being cross-platform, and considering you know, it's only on Xbox and Steam. It makes sense. I know Halo Infinite is, but I don't actually own Halo Infinite. I played the in the multiplayer is free. It's just a single player you have to pay for. But I enjoyed what I played of it. It's just there's not enough content, which I think is the complaint everyone has with Halo Infinite's multiplayer. It's a fun multiplayer. There just isn't enough content. Like, it gets very repetitive very quickly. Again. Garage and Xbox. That's fair enough. Most people do. My Xbox. The only reason I got my Xbox One is because it was when it became completely backwards compatible with the 360. Because my 360 was on the brink anyway, so it just made sense to get an Xbox One. And then the only game on Xbox One I got was MCC. Everything else I have on my Xbox One is 360 games.
Do you know her, boy?
Oh, is this going to be our Chocobo?
That scar. It couldn't be.
Oh my god! The one that saved us!
Ambrosia. It is you.
Oh my god! I thought Ambrosia died. Aww. Okay, this side quest's very much worth doing to find out that literally the one who saved Clive's life is still alive.
Is it over? I thought I'd come and see how you were getting on. Oh, you sorted the bastards then. I knew you would. And the whole flock made it through unscathed.
Thankfully they did. And not only that.
Not only that, Clive got to reunite with an old friend. Phrasing, yeah.
Well, I'll be. I never stopped to think our hero here might once have been someone's mount. Though I dare say she'd suit a fine fellow like yourself. Reckon our feathered friend must have learned a thing or two from her master. Kind-hearted warrior that you are. Bird like her would have cost a princely sum. You born a lord or something?
Well,
To be honest, dude, like, you don't have to worry. So a lot of people have grudges with Xbox for different reasons. They are a long, lingering thread of questionable and, if not just bad business decisions that attempt to just do more harm than good.
She wants her master back, I reckon.
I mean, heck, like, they wonder why they're literally last in the console race. But then we also find out from their reports that, you know, the reason why they consider buying out a lot of companies isn't for their games, but instead their mobile games. And it's like, do you ever wonder why? I'm playing this game. Hi, hope you're doing well.
Well, bugger me if this ain't a heartwarming sight.
And yeah, I'm working my way through 16 as we speak, slowly but surely.
Stay right where you are.
Yeah, but Xbox have, unfortunately, I know they are genuinely always trying. It just unfortunately doesn't work out a lot of the time. But they are trying to broaden to a Japanese crowd and have more Japanese games on their platform. But it unfortunately rarely seems to work out for them, which I genuinely think is a shame, because I would love more people to be able to experience some of these other games and these other platforms.
Doesn't she
but a lot of the time, because of just shenanigans behind the scenes, it just doesn't work out well.
How much do I owe you?
A few scraps of leather's the very least I owe old Whiteheart. Oh, I'll be sad.
Or if it does work out, it has to be an Xbox exclusive, which like goes against the whole reason why I want it on Xbox. I'd want these games to be on more platforms because I want everyone to get to try them. Not suddenly just jump ship and be locked to a different platform. It's like, no, that's not what I'm after, you know? Maybe like good. Yeah, 16 is phenomenal so far. I'm really loving this game. The only criticism I have is getting a patch They've confirmed they're making a patch for it, and that's the motion blur when you spin the camera. They've confirmed that they're working on a patch for that, so the fact that the only gripe I have is something that won't even be a thing in the game soon.
Chocobos swarmed my car on the road, didn't you?
Like, you know what, like GG Final Fantasy 16 devs.
That fellow was a bearer.
Like, I could be understanding to first-party games being exclusive, because they're first-party, it's just the nature of they own them, of course they're going to only want it on their platform. But the moment it's leaving first-party is the moment you run out of excuses, in my humble opinion.
Good luck to the both of you.
Outside of, like, hyper-specific circumstances. Like, Bayonetta 2 wouldn't have come out if it wasn't for Nintendo funding it, so it being a Switch exclusive, I'm more prepared to, you know, or like being a Nintendo exclusive, I'm more prepared to give it slack, you know? So that's outside PlayStation Japan. Did they? That's the first I've heard of it, if I'm honest. Chocobo's unlocked. Because I know, like, even during the 360, when the 360 was exploding, the PS3 still did better in Japan. As long but I know, like, the Xbox One did miserably in comparison to the PlayStation worldwide, but I don't know about Japan, and so I don't know what's going on with the Series X and PS5. It might be that the Series X is more accessible because they've got more units out, because, you know, there's still, although it's nowhere near as bad as it was, it's still not the easiest to get a hold of a new console. Well, after 18 long years, Clive's finally been reunited with his faithful steed. Hold R3 on the field to summon Ambrosio and X them out. I want to hit the new Chocobo beam. Oh, I'm waiting to hit. Okay, what are the buttons?
Run like the wind.
Oh, you can glide too. Oh, you have an attack? Yeah, fuck him up. Fuck him up. Oh! The trigger's pressure sensitive. Look, I'm holding it a smidge. Holding it fully. Cool. Am I the only one riding a chocobo? Oh no, okay, Jill got on one as well. I was just Torgal, do you wanna ride, mate? Do you wanna ride, my friend? I'll get back to the plot in a second. I want to enjoy riding a chocobo for a sec. That's my second gripe then. No chocobo theme. I mean, it played a little melody when we hopped on it, but it's not the same. I'm going to hit. Does it force us to get off in villages? It does.
Back to the stables, girl.
Anyway, that's not the... Back to the hideaway we go.
Where's Gav?
Oh, Jesus, everything's updated. Reading... Oh, we got a new letter, new wall. We can... States of the realm have changed, new music. Let's go check the states of the realm. What's changed around the world?
That room's as ragged as...
And it'd be nice to go check in with Vivian.
Here for another of my lectures.
Allow
What's
me
changed?
to educate you. I have the details here.
Oh, because we've rescued people. Got it.
Here you are.
Meanwhile, we push to the Abbey. The bearer culling from Rosalith. I think we need to head off back to Rosalith soon and go talk to our mother. What's the Iron Kingdom doing? The archipelago nations of the west coast of the storm. Oh, and I think they own the fire crystal.
Thus ends today's lesson.
So Mather's all right.
I want to go see what our letter says. So, how are you doing, Jill?
Should be back by now.
Oh, okay.
I hear there's trouble in
Right, Gav, I'll talk to you in a sec. I need to go check my letters.
I think it's all right to talk.
Oh, Torgal playing with the kids. Torgal's a good boy. Oh, forgive my insistence on writing you these silly letters. Would that we had more time to speak to each other in person. But for every day we spend together, it feels as though we must suffer another two apart. I am gladdened to hear of your most unexpected reunion with Ambrosia, or should I say Whiteheart. You told me once how your chocobo sacrificed herself to protect you that night at Phoenix Gate, and here, so many years later, we find she has spent her life doing that exact same thing, defending others. Some things never change, do they, Clive? Oh, just... Yeah, not... Sometimes people just need to be told. I get it. This is like... I know it's called the Wall of Memories, but let's be real here. It's called the Wall of Sadness, because the very first thing you're met with is the oath you made with Cid. So you're just reminded of... You're reminded of the promise you made with him, and you're reminded of a fantastic dead man. Saddam binds Clive specifically for Clive's childhood chocobo, Ambrosia. Even after being separated from her master, the noble steed served the people of Rosario in its stead, protecting the defenseless from the merciless, just as a good shield should. Cid is love, Cid is life. Yeah, genuinely, this is like, and I said it last stream, and this is coming from someone who's played every single Final Fantasy. I think this game's Cid is the best Cid in the series. This game's version of Cid is the best in the series. It really is. I mean, they already technically had that with 15, with Cindy. Or in Japan, she's called Sydney, just in case the reference wasn't obvious enough. Which I'm honestly surprised they didn't keep her called that in the English version. But what can you do?
Clive! Oh, I've missed that scowl.
Hey, Gav. I love how much time this game puts on side characters.
What, no kind words for your old pal Gav?
Oh, he's drunk.
If it's kind words you're after, you're fishing in
Like, you know, these side characters, we've known them since we first got to the hideaway at the start of the game. Yet, you know, like, we're sitting down with Taja still, like, Gav's having a drink with us. Like, I love how much time and effort they put for the side characters. They're not literally just on the side, they mean something.
Empire was to occupy the Dominion after
Save
the
to the
fall
glorious
of
son of a
Great
bitch.
Head.
I was letting him nonetheless.
Pissed
Yeah.
off all the other nations were that they didn't think to do it first.
Half a century of independence gone at the whim of a madman. So much for their bloody treaty.
Clearly, the promise of unblighted land and the world's supply of crystals was too much for his radiance to resist.
In many ways, 16 is Basiria vibes. I honestly agree.
Follow suit, using liberation as an excuse to declare.
And it makes me more because Yoshi P, he does play video games a lot. I honestly wonder if he's played Basiria, and it helped inspire some of this game. Because it genuinely feels like it at points. Which would be sick if it does, but still.
While the two nations beat their shields, the rest sharpen their daggers, ready to set upon the war-weary victor. They'll never see us coming.
I'd like to think Clive and Velvet would be best friends if they ever met. Like, they'd both click with each other really well.
This time we moved on the mother crystals.
Oh wow, we really are doing like war planning.
Drake's breath near Ironhome.
Okay, we're going for the fire crystal next.
Drake's fang in Dalmekia.
Or not. We're just going for him. Never mind. I should just shut up and pay attention.
Spine in Waloed. And Drake's tail here in the crystalline dominion.
With the bulk of the Republican army marching to Twinside, Drake's Fang will be left exposed.
That is exactly the move Kupka would anticipate. And if there is anything these past 5 years have taught us, is that he loves his traps. There is one place, however, where nobody will be expecting us to go.
Drake's breath.
There's a shitload of sea between us and it, and I've never been much of a swimmer.
I have an acquaintance in Port Isolde who may be able to help.
Who's that then?
My uncle, Byron Rossfield.
Lord Byron
You have
Rossfield of the Seven High Houses.
You have an uncle? Since when? Why has he never been brought up before?
Weird. Rossfield. And you're a Rossfield, of course.
My uncle's name gave him his start in the world, but it was his acumen which earned him his fortune.
How much? Oh, I'm very smart. Is Kapka. From what we can tell, the dude thinks himself a genius, and like he has like countermeasures for everything. But in reality, he's just a really angry, loud brute. So I'll let you answer that one. But he also has a like vendetta against us because he blames us for the death of his love, Benedicta. Which, to be fair, he's right. But still, your plan, they counter your plan, they counter my plan, they counter your plan. Hey, the counter's now open. I think that's going to be like the hunt board. Which, if that's the case, yep. If that's the case, we're going to get distracted a whole bunch. Because hunts were some of my favourite things to do in 15. Well, when you got the better ones. The opening ones weren't that great, but the better ones were brilliant. And if this game's learned anything from 15, then fuck. Oh, there's a quest at the end of the backyard. Let's go get that first. See what that's about. Oh. Well, it's someone who comes across and acts like they're super smart, but in reality is just an angry brute. But he's also an angry brute that's kind of out for revenge because he blames us for killing his mistress. So, he's somewhat vindicated. Oh, this is a lovely little garden space. Hello, Mr. Botanist.
See, I was hoping to speak to you.
Sure, what's up, dude?
Is everything alright?
Oh, yeah, it's just, well, as you know, we've been trying to grow fruit down here.
It's good to know that something of the old hideaway still lives on.
Martel's pride and joy.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
When she rescued it from the rubble, but look at it now. All our hard work's finally paying off. I took it on, you see, after she died, and now the fruit's finally ready to eat.
Oh,
and not only is it
the old
ready,
botanist
it's
didn't make
tasty.
it.
Sweet as you like, in fact. She bred the bitter right out of it.
Impressive. And welcome news to more than a few, I'd say.
Because it felt like most people kind of survived. So that's actually like the attack. So it's actually kind of tragic.
Couldn't take them some, could you? Seems better them coming from you.
I'm sure they'll be pleased.
Nice being the bearer of good news for a change.
Oh, thank you. She always had a soft spot for that lot, see? And once they've had
but the thing is, Kapka, his first name's Hugo, by the way, so if I call him Hugo for every now and then, that's why. But, Kapka also had a bad habit of letting his strength do the talking in ridiculous, because he's also he is the dominant of Titan, which dominants are people that can transform into their summons, like their massive beasts. Like, you know, we transform into Ifrits for that Kaiju battle, for example, because we're the dominant of Ifrit. He's the dominant of Titan, you know, this mountain-sized humanoid, like, rock monster. And so, like, if he can't answer it with smarts, he can just transform into that thing. Which is where some of the problem lays, and why we're doing so much strategic planning. Because dealing with Titan is going to be a problem regardless. Am I even going the right way? I have not figured out the layout of the land yet. Oh, that would have brought me all the way to the atrium. Mind when it comes to people in general. Or people and objects. Yeah. Well, the only person he seemed to truly care about was Benedicta, and because, you know, we killed her, that's the only thing he cares about now is exacting revenge. Sorry, I was trying really hard to finish my sentence before that motorbike arrived. I could hear it, like, roaring up in the distance. Alright, so what's this about?
Alright, Clive. Keeping busy, are you?
As always.
Me too. Seems like every report our allies sends us brings 100 new headaches for me to deal with. I've been doing my best to keep on top of it all. Sending anything urgent straight to the curse breakers, just like Otto told me. The rest,
So is the curse breakers like our hired mercenaries? I wasn't paying enough attention earlier, but I think it was mentioned.
Acting funny, there is no end of problems that need solving.
As a result, yeah.
Anyone with the time and inclination to solve them will earn a nice bit of goodwill for the cause. And maybe more besides. So, how busy did you say you were? Oh, same old.
Always got me reading through the reports coming in from our allies and picking out what problems need dealing with now and what can be saved for later. It was still early days back at the old place, so I could just about handle the job myself. State of the world now, though, I need Dee's help to sift through it all. After all, and that's just the sifting. Actually solving any of these problems, our other headache. The curse breakers take the urgent stuff, but we're still stuck waiting for volunteers to handle the rest.
So,
if you ever find yourself at a loose end, well, you know where to find me. So much has happened since that night. Feels like a lifetime ago. But we'll never forget those who didn't make it. Kenneth, Mollet, they're still with us in our hearts. And Sid, when I found out he was gone, I thought that was it for us.
He's still with us too.
With us, and in you. You took his name, and gave us hope when we had none. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is, don't be a stranger, eh? Either way ain't nothing without it, Sid.
Anything catch your eye?
The Alliant reports to not only find new quests around Valistea, but also travel immediately to the obelisk. Oh, it's literally quest tracking. When you get more areas, it's quest tracking. You can just come here and be like, hey, there's a quest in Rosario you haven't done, and you can just warp straight there if you want. That's actually kind of cool. What about this?
Oh, Clive. Welcome to the Patron's Whisper.
Individuals and or groups of people who can share your story. Absolutely.
Does that mean someone else is taking care of our friend's
Your old man was a very wise man.
Oh, no. That's still me.
That's absolutely true, at least in my experience.
Has a toll. Blackthorn has his hammer. I thought a new name might liven things up. I still catalogue every item that arrives, in addition to setting aside those tokens of appreciation the sender has specified are to be presented to you personally. Would you like to see if we have any?
So is this a new general shop? I'll talk to you probably if I want to find out what this is about.
Everything promised.
Completing side quests will get you renown. Inspiring nameless benefactors from across the Twins to donate money and items to the cause. It does rate the Whisper to in the Hardware's mess if you current renown level and accept any donations available. Oh!
You earned this. All yours.
Cool. So the more side quests you do, the more you can reap the rewards of this. It won't tell you what's later on until you reach it. But oh, a berserker ring. I wonder if that works the way I thought it does. Several items of worth that might continue on your gallantry. Order is one built on pride, but it does not mean we are too proud to give thanks where it's due. We may have failed Martha once, but never again. It's a wise fool. He was more grounded, but also kind of a hippie. He was a Gen Xer. Yeah, but if I had to choose, I'd rather be a wise fool. Because it's someone who can still enjoy the finer things in life and have fun with it, without letting the reality of what you know. Because it's an unfortunate reality that the more you learn, the more things that you can learn that will sadden you. And so still being able to keep that kind of almost cheeky and just free with the wind attitude while still being wise and wary of the world is a magic that is very hard to find in people. There's a reason why there's such a thing as blissful ignorance, you know? Because sometimes it's better to save yourself by just not learning it. Yes, fair enough. Clive, there you are, Kupo. I've been looking all over for you.
What's the matter, Nectar?
The matter is this, Kupo.
The hunt board. It's where the curse breakers post sightings of particularly fearsome beasts. Those that might pose a threat to our operations if they were left to roam free. Just because they can't be dealt with when they're spotted.
Yeah, and I take it as a compliment every time, dude. Because it sounds like your old man was great. He sounds like he was a wonderful person. Of course not, Kupo. I knew all that already. And that's why I need your help. As I need not remind you, Kupo, I am the mightiest of all the Mughals. No fiend of the forest or ghoul of the great woods. Fuck. So I need you to slay them all, Kupo. But I can beat that all in time. What the fuck?
Well, leaving your mightiness aside for the moment, the people of Valisthea are going through a lot already. What with the blight and the war. The last thing they need is ungodly fiends terrorizing them on top of everything else. So if the curse breakers are too busy to help, then perhaps I can. Or at least I can try.
Oh, thank you, Kupo. It's so good to have found someone who understands me, Kupo. I'll stay here then. Keep an eye on the billets that get posted on the board. If there is anything you need to know, Kupo, I'm your Mughal. If you're wondering why I'm talking like that, wait until I cover Final Fantasy 13, assuming that ever gets a re-release. That's how Mughals talk in that game. And for a while, Mughals did talk in English, and it was weird. Like, I much prefer them going when you're talking. The curse breakers don't just tack up any old rumours on the board, you know. They take great pains to verify every little detail, Kupo. So don't let it go. Don't go letting all their hard work go to waste, Kupo. Don't let me, I mean them, down. It's precisely what you see before you, Kupo. The curse breakers note down the details of any particularly dangerous monsters they hear about or encounter in the course of the duties, Kupo. And post the billets here, Kupo, so that any stout soul who wishes to do a realm of service might set out to slaughter an ungodly horror or two, which is where you come in, Kupo. As for me, I have the most important duty of all, painting a big red cross on each and every one you cut down, Kupo, so that everyone can sleep at night knowing the realm's a safer place. Did I ever tell you about the time I visited the Great Continent, Kupo?
I don't think so.
Of course I didn't, because I've never been, Kupo. Then why the fuck did you start that conversation? Look at these wings. You think that they sort like carry a Moogle across countless leagues of open sea? They call me Nectar the Bold, not Nectar the Stupid, Kupo. Sounds like it's a duty. It sounds like you enjoyed it, Coop. Yeah. Hunt board, yada yada. Hey, that one's already crossed off because we found it. The Angel of Death in Clairview Sunbreak and Belphegor is in this game. Interesting. I'm really curious about the Angel of Death. Can you blame me? And the Broken Hill and Rosaria. Nectar's great, yeah. It's a cheeky little shit, but I like it. Also, it's a tiny little thing. This symbol here is a giant reference to 12. 12 had a hunt board as well, and the very first hunt you did was against a being that was called I think it was called the Dangerous Tomato, and it was literally a tomato with legs. It was this fucking thing, and that's what it is. So that's a nice little callback to 12. The very first, because 12's first hunt's ridiculous. You sit there and you go, what? What do you mean it's a tomato with legs? And so it got memed on a bit. So this is just a nice little wink, a nice little callback to 12. Which also makes me have the expectation this would be like 12's hunts, which are, like, insanely good. 12 had great hunts in it. I said, like, I know I mentioned Yzmat, like, you know, the one that had, like, 28 million HP, but all of the hunts in 12 were really good. They were fun to track down. One of them was Gilgamesh. God, I hope Gilgamesh is in this game. And that was a really fun fight, because Gilgamesh had fake versions of other main character weapons. Like, he would pull out what he thought was the Buster Sword, and the Buster Sword would have literally written on it fake. He'd have what he thought was like Tidus's Aqua Blade, and it was like the water was the wrong color. Like, you know, like it had like fake versions of all the weapons, and they weren't real. Clairview Sunbreak. Adamantine DLC. Oh, we got to do story stuff here first. Got it. Yeah, it's not going to let us do that hunt just yet. Yeah, okay. So I have to remember that's there for another time.
So Mather's all right.
The method was absurd.
You two look like you could use something to eat. Here, courtesy of Martel.
Martel. Now, where have I heard that name before?
Weren't she the girl from the Furrows?
Course she was. An odd sort, that one. Loved plants more than people.
Just want to replicate what Maxwell did.
Aye, and brave as a bane might.
What, with the
Remember when she ran back into
like the
highway to plant them
hyper-edited,
trees when Titan attacked?
hyper-focused,
Wait.
kind of memey, but insanely high-quality videos. Because I strive to have the level of dedication that man has. Not to make those videos, because I think that would give me a headache just trying to figure out how to be like that. Or like how to even think like that. But to be able to make that high quality.
A gift from the backyard. For your service.
Maybe adamantine, how you adamantine picture in the end. Oh, right.
Me back. I haven't seen a hideaway.
Do you mean the adamant toys?
Old Sid was the only one who could stomach the things.
The giant turtle?
He'd nab 'em right from the branch, made Martel livid. Not that anyone could stay mad at the man for long.
That sounds like the Sid I knew, all right.
Planning on keeping that lot to
That's why I was
yourself,
confused.
will ya?
The adamant toys is in 16, but it's been downgraded. It's been demoted. Like, you know, this really annoying big long super boss in 15. It's a normal enemy in this game.
Carried on what she started. Can't have been easy. Not in the
But it's a giant tortoise, but with adamantite on it, so adamantoise. That's how you remember it.
Clive, tell the lad down in the backyard to run some over for me, will ya?
Not so much as a thank you.
that's how I remember it.
Well, I've got some manners at least. Thanks, Sid.
Yeah, no worries.
You can leave the basket with me. I'll see that the others get their share. Oh, and give our compliments to the gardener, won't you?
Yeah, it's a normal enemy in this. It's still got a bit of chunky health, but it's still a normal enemy. It doesn't take that much. I am curious what this game's super bosses will be like, though, when I eventually start finding them.
I hear there's trouble.
I imagine there'll be hunts, because what better way to just squeeze in super bosses than just put it in the hunt system?
I think it's alright to touch him.
Were those kids too nervous to stroke Torgal? No, he's a good boy. Yeah, the ring. There's an interesting story of the Adamantoise. When the game first came out, the ring wasn't that good, and a lot of people complained that the ring was kind of shit. So they buffed it, but when they buffed it, they made it so no matter what, Osmos and the other skill, the one that summons the black hole, I forgot what it's called, always has a chance to work regardless of what enemy it is. And which is what then opened the door to completely destroying the Adamantoise.
Cursebreakers send their thanks. And their compliments. They were clearly
Because it's not a ring you have to find, you get it in the plot, you get it in the story, you get it in, like, I think, chapter 13.
Years, I suppose she was very kind, even to a tongue-tied lover.
Because it's like, it's a plot ring. The ring of the Lucii. It's a plot ring that it's like, when you wear it, you bear the power of all the gods and kings that came before. And well, that's the point of it. But when the game first came out, the ring was weak as shit. You're like, what do you mean this ring represented all the gods and kings that came before? It's worthless. So they buffed the shit out of it, and by proxy, they made it so it worked on super bosses. The only thing it genuinely truly doesn't work on is Omega, the super boss that was added in Royal Edition, and that's it. And that's mostly because Omega will kill you before you have the time to charge it up, because it's so constantly on you.
Something to be proud of.
I didn't do anything really, but thank you. You're kinder to me than I deserve.
By the way, Otto's expecting some of your
It's the same reason why Ignis gets blinded, because he wore the Ring of Lucii, but because he wasn't a chosen one of the gods. The thing with the Lucii is that if you're not chosen to have it, you can still use its power, but at the cost of your body.
Isn't that wonderful?
So Ignis used it temporarily to push back Arden, but as a result, it blinded him. Soviet measures, there are more Russians. Hey, another thing displayed in the chambers. Oh, this way. I want to see if the other hunt's along the way. Like, where the other hunt we need to go for. Because the Angel of Death's in some break, but we can't go there until we advance the plot a little more. But I want to see where the other one is. If the other one's going to be on the path, then we can keep an eye out for it. Fucking wrong way again. I will learn the hideout eventually, I promise. Look at these two. Keep them company, Torgal. I'll check this and then we'll head out. So I think we're doing okay equipment-wise anyway.
And how may I assist you today?
Why is Stay the Realms updated? I've only done side quests. Oh right, because we're doing this. We're heading towards the port to meet Clive's uncle. Where's the hunt board? Oh, I already lost it. Hang on, there it is. Broken Hilt Rosaria. That is where we're going, I think, so we need to keep an eye out for that. Right? Hang on. Well, that's Southern Rosaria. So, yeah, we might be heading to... we might, if we find an area that says Broken Hilt, we need to keep an eye out. For if it is Durgan. But let's head off. Oh, I need to read, hang on. From the Heathered Highlands, that one might catch a glimpse of the Rosalith Castle and everything else in between. Southern Rosaria.
Do you think it was wise to leave, Gav? He didn't seem pleased.
I needed his eyes and nose in Dhalmekia. I'm not about to let Kupka take us unawares. Besides, he has a knack for that sort of thing.
That he does.
And wasn't it Sid who said that matters such as these are best left to dominance? Especially should one of his beloved opportunities to grow and change present itself.
Clive really takes everything Sid's taught on his shoulders, huh? That's cute. What's on your mind, Torgal?
I always knew that I would return one day. Return to Ironhome.
For what?
After learning the truth, you were given the chance to face your past. If I am to continue at your side, I must do the same.
We will face it together then.
To the end.
Come on.
So those two are more than friends, right? Like, it isn't even like a shipping thing, right? Those two are more than friends. That they will just go to, like, we're on a whim. We're not even, like, treating it as a big deal. We'll go to the ends of the earth to, like, see each other's paths through.
I think your mother's reach extends. Will we find the same tragedy in the south as we did at Martha's Rest?
More than likely. Which is why we should hurry. There are still many settlements between here and Port Isolde. We visit as many as we can and hear their stories. Starting with the village of Amber.
Oh, the enemies are a slightly higher level now. Oh, that's way longer Phoenix shift. Alright, that buff, that upgrade really is pulling its worth. Oh, the broken hilt's there. So the hunt's probably there. You know, I can detour. Let's go see if we can do this. I know, I'm holding the button down until the second it lets me. There we go.
Good girl.
Oh, it does look like a little da-da-da-da-da. Let's look around, see if we can find this hunt.
This might take a while.
Oh, that looks like it.
Thanks, girl.
Rank B, 8k and 20. Alright. Oh, it's level 30, okay. I need to be careful, then Zim could kill me.
Nice try. Too slow. Get him. Nice try.
Oh, ow, ow. Okay, that actually hurts a little bit.
This one.
Damn, not bad.
Nice try.
Ow, 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 ow. Ow.
To me, boy. Well done. Get him.
Fuck. Stun me.
That's better. Too slow.
Oh, I thought I got out of the way of that.
Nice try.
Gotcha. Alright. He was definitely a stronger, higher level than us, but we got him.
Hope there aren't any more of them.
Ow. I was like, oof, owie my bones. Let's go stock up on our stuff.
Stay sharp.
How do?
How do?
There you go. Thanks very much. Much obliged.
Can we go over there? Okay, we can. Awesome. Oh, we haven't explored this space. Interesting. I'm trying to remember where it was. Was it Cutter's Gate? Where the hunt was? You know what? I can just find out. Hang on. Hang on. It takes 2 seconds to go check instead of me going umming and erring. So I want to do the other hunt while I'm at it. Oh, new letters at the chambers. Alright, I'll go check that as well. We're here.
That room's as ragged as...
So Martha's all right.
Yep.
Clairview, Sunbreak. Okay, Clairview. Which, if I check the map... Oh, somewhere in that field. Got it. Great. Somewhere in this. Probably over here in this space we haven't been to, then. If I had to hazard a guess. Which works out since that's what I wanted to explore anyway. Alright, let's go see what our letter in our chamber is. And then we'll go do that hunt as well. And then we'll actually get on with the plot, I promise.
Think it's alright to touch him?
An apple a day. Otto. Lad from the yard ran up a basket of martels just this morning. Sweet as honey and crisp as the morning breeze they were. I told myself I was only going to have one, but I reckon if no one else listened to old Otto, I don't have to either. You let Nigel and his lot know they've done a fine job. It was a time you'd catch none but Sid supping on these for their foul bite, but for him, it never were about the flavour, but what they represented. Our ability to make it on our own. Just look at us now, Sid would be proud. Yeah, this is where we need to go. And then we're heading south. Well, it'll be more southwest-ish, but we're heading south.
Keep them pilchards nice and chilled.
Look at this place.
Alright, you see anything that looks like a fucking angel of death? Let me know. Is that one of Garuda's leftovers? What are you doing over here? Your master's been dead for 5 years. Are you this angel of death?
You deserve a rest.
You are? Oh, okay, that was quick. One of Garuda's extras. No wonder you've been running amok then, because your master's been dead. You've just lost your purpose.
That's what I think it is. This isn't going to be easy. Let's try.
Yeah, instead of grabbing you in the face with your master's abilities.
Too slow. Too slow.
What are you up to? Oh, you're doing this again, huh? Come on. You're done. Nice. I think we only got clipped once, so that was actually pretty smooth. Cool.
Rest well. I know I will.
Alright, let's go explore over here before we head off.
Let's go. Run like the wind.
You know, it's also appreciated that, you know, you can actually go ride a chocobo. After 7 Remake, it was just a quick travel. I know 7 Remake Part 1 being based in Midgard, there's only so much chocobo could do because of how linear it is, but still, it's nice to actually be back on the chocobo and running around. Oh, this is the Reds of Dead End by the looks of it, huh? Alright, Reds of Dead End, but there's trouble. Why would you run into the way of me doing my my shit? What was this raptor's problem? You have a death wish? Oh, they're dead. Oh, atta boy.
Fly, Ambrosia.
Can't see anything else hiding away back here. No treasure chests. Which way, treasure chests are small in this game, so they're easy to miss. But they're not big, giant crates. They're just kind of little boxes you just got to kick open. You can drift? Hang on. I was messing around with buttons. Hang on, you can drift. Even Clive's loving life.
Time to fight.
Where does this all lead to? Is this just a straight shot back to... Oh, it is. Interesting. It all links up. Oh, we're too close to the town. Right? Yeah, too close to town. Got it. Okay, so that's how that all links up. Good to know. Alright, let's go reap our rewards for our hunts. And then back to plot. Because we've got a Berserker ring we can pick up. I think we're 5 points short from expanding, but we've only just started the hunt, so we'll get way more later on.
Your uncle always seemed a kindly soul, if a little eccentric.
It worries me when someone says eccentric. Uh-oh, what do you mean by eccentric? Do you mean as in like he's kind of fun and colourful, or because he's he's a complete weirdo?
Fancy a look at the list, do you?
Oh no, you're the quest list. It's you are the bounty rewards.
How may I help you today, Clive? Is everything we've received and everything promised?
Little bit known as Sid the Outlaw, and much of my clientele would rather spend their time prattling on about your endeavours, making any endeavours of their own. For that, I feel I owe you at least a portion of my earnings. A particularly enormous sort left this on the nightstand. May it serve you better than it did him.
You earned this.
A berserk ring, ooh.
Best of luck out there, Sid.
Temporarily increases damage proficiency with each precision dodge. Ooh. Sure. That sounds fun. Let's mix it up. What's the upgrade for this? Increases number of lock-ons. Lightning rod might be fun. Literally just drop like an electric thing on them and then chain it. Oh, I might actually want to upgrade this. Actually, no, we've got it upgraded. Mastery just makes it so we can equip it on other things. So we don't need to worry about that. Yeah, I'm not using that anyway, so I'll take it off. Yeah, let's get this. And upgrade it as well, because I'm curious. Because the idea is that this basically plants a bomb on them, which is why I'm kind of curious about it. Alright, back to plot. And that's blocked off, but we can probably, you can kind of tell this will link back to the previous area over here anyway.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, cutscene.
Mockery of justice is what it is. Lord Elwyn would never have stood for this.
Quiet, you! I think we're loyalists.
Jill, look.
Rosaria must be cleansed of the stain which befouls her, that she might rise once again from the ashes to welcome a new dawn. 'Twould be a pity to make examples of you all, for the transgressions of but a handful.
Of course, your lordship. You shall have our full cooperation.
What business could the Black Shields have in a village this small? There's barely room to hide a bearer.
Then they must be here for something else.
You fancy dancing a gallows jig like the miller's son?
Were you selling the
ain't
humble
got
merchant?
Much, but what's mine is yours for a price.
Uses limit gauge generation amount by 6% when taking damage. No, I'll be fine. Knight's Terrors, orchestral roll.
You won't be disappointed. I reckon that's fair. I'd pay more if I could. Into the roads now.
Let's ask around.
Excuse me, but what was all that about earlier?
You haven't heard? Someone's been stirring up trouble. There have been attacks on the garrison, supplies stolen. They even say a Black Shield was murdered. The Empire wants answers, and what the Empire wants, Empire gets.
Don't they just?
Keep your ears open, eh? The Black Shields will pay good coin for information on the culprits.
Yeah, he went in for themselves. Oh, what now with Blizzard, eh? There's always something. Always some bullshit they're trying to cover up with stupid decisions.
We're going hunting for outlaws.
Which is a shame, because the things that they do to cover up their actions should be something that should be able to be celebrated, but it's because we know we're doing it, they are doing it to bury their own bullshit, that it kind of, like, lessens. Oh, the portal pass thing. Yeah, I know. The portal pass, like... The price to get, like, the full pass thing, it's like, no, they better suck your dick if you get it, you know? Like, it's gonna be that much. But yeah, no, it's stupendously astronomical, and I hope it does miserably as a result. I don't like wishing ill, but if you're gonna make it that expensive, even for the basic get-in, no, you get what's coming to you, as far as I'm concerned. I hope it does miserably.
You seen him, didn't you?
Because the problem is, the only people it will attract are, like, the business freaks. So and that's probably why they made it that expensive, to limit the audience to just the business heads that will nod and clap regardless, and not people that will call them out for making a mobile cash grab phone game.
Is this the first time they visited the village?
What do you think?
You know, they won't get someone point blank tell them, is this an out of season April Fool's joke, when they announce a new mobile game, because the only people that'll be there will be business heads.
Only we were. I might have turned him in and become a Black Shield myself.
You don't think these firebrands the Empire is looking for could be us, do you?
I don't know. But we need to find out. Greetings, friend. We are travelers.
I know that. What do you want?
We couldn't help noticing those Imperial soldiers who were here earlier.
Don't you go telling these strangers a thing. I speak for the people of this village, and we have nothing more to say to you. You are to leave Amber and never come back.
May I at least ask why?
I don't know who you are or what brings you here, but your presence puts us all in grave danger. The Empire is a harsh master. Its demands are great, and its justice swift. But as long as we keep our heads down and pay our tributes, we are left alone. Some might call it submission. But if it will spare my people the Viceroy's wrath, then
Blizzard, or by extension its CEO Bobby Kotick, is like the leading reason why it's become, like, it is like a leading example of how to embarrass yourself consistently. It's a real shame. I was never really into Blizzard, most of Blizzard's games, but I at least respected and understood why people loved them. And like even Diablo 4 couldn't launch without some problem because it's online only. So if you're not online, you can't play the fucking game.
In the mistaken belief that if they
So if the servers go down, you can't play the game. Which, oh wait, didn't they get DDoSed? So people couldn't play it for a few hours? Oh jeez. You know?
All right.
Sorry, It's nothing. We still don't know who the Black Shields are looking for.
Well, whoever they are, the Imperials deem them worth pursuing to the back of beyond. But other than Martha, who else in Rosari would have the courage to stand against the Empire? A new ally would certainly be welcome. Can we find them before the Imperials do? Perhaps the next village will yield more answers.
And on we go. There's someone else out there causing a lot of trouble for people. If we can find them, maybe convince them to our side, that would be nice. Oh, it's mostly a straight shot. I'll stay off the chocobo for now. We don't need to get Ambrosia out for everything.
And directly into the path of whoever or whatever lurks here.
What are you doing out here?
Ever since the laboratory, we've seen more and more of these echoes.
I was saying, you should be in the apothecary.
The mother crystals collapse.
I have an idea. You're not going to like it.
But yeah, Blizzard nowadays is just a real unfortunate shadow of its former self. And it's just a shame that it keeps on resulting in putting the workers that are trying their best in literal harm's way because of the mistreatment and harassment of their own higher-ups. That they keep on trying to pretend doesn't exist. Even after the limitless evidence, Bobby Kotick still like, oh, we're doing great. It's like, yeah, of course you are, you little shit. You're doing great because you're still making your millions. But I won't go on about that. There's an unfortunate nature of the situation. Oh, that's cute. I can attack my thing I set up to, like, make more explosions. What the heck is this? A bullhorn braid. Lunging boosts. Okay. Mind to treat people how you'd want to be treated. Yeah, exactly. Heck, some adults need to be taught that. They seem to just treat them like arseholes, get annoyed at the first sign of someone biting back.
More of my mother's men.
I'm surprised Clive even has the respect to still call his mother and not her name, considering she literally led the whole kingdom to ruin and betrayed all of them, although it's later revealed that he survived, getting what Clive believed his brother killed, and definitely got his father killed. Like, I'm surprised, like, he's even prepared to, like, bear that and be like, my mother, like, because I wouldn't in his shoes. That's fair enough, I guess. That's probably like the only thing with me. Like, I feel like the parental naming is a title that's earned and can be lost, not something that you just have to put up with. If you're not acting like someone's parent, you don't deserve the title of the parent, you know? And I know that's very harsh and, like, unkind for me to say, but that's just that's like my only real real strong grievance point. If you don't earn the title, you shouldn't have it. I guess so, yeah, because it's that formality. Like, there's no love in it when you say mother or father compared to, like, mum and dad. Hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean. More of them. Yeah. Whoops. Do I need to be up on that bridge? Oh, we're going under. Never mind. Like aggressive and all that jazz. Yeah, I hear you. Speaking of mothers, when we find Clive's mothers, do you think she's going to get killed for like all her bullshit, or what? Like, do you think her fate is that we're going to like get revenge, or do you think that she will live? Let's see if he's warped her. That's sad to hear.
Blood, Clive.
Some anime BS, yeah. What, Torgal? What you seen? Oh, more trouble.
You were told to stay in your homes.
The Black Shields.
You know who we are, and still, you would bear your steel.
Has to be done.
Why then? We owe you our thanks. You have saved us the trouble of an interrogation. To dwell in darkness, that we may purge the night and welcome.
That's fair. Yeah, I get that. Anyway, let's go beat up these guys because these pompous.
Swear.
Say that again.
All right, first priority, get the mage. Excuse me, dude. So these, like, the black shields of Rosaria, they're literally just an insult to what the shields are supposed to represent. They're not protecting the people, they're intimidating. Which is why it pissed off Clive personally, because he is a shield. He's the original shields. Well, it's not like you can deal with mages whenever order you want. I prioritize the mages because they're the biggest annoyance if you don't, for me personally. But my playstyle versus your playstyle, for example, could be different. You might find the mages such a non-issue that maybe like the lead knight is what you go for instead. But for me, it just always usually makes sense to prioritize the mage. Because then I can focus on the enemies that are trying to swing at me and not the enemies that are hurling shit.
They await you in ordeal. Guardians of the
Like, it's not a you have to, it's a my choice to. Yes.
Those are Old Hill's gates.
Then we hurry.
And the mages tend to have less health than the knights, so it's it's easier for me to just like shift my focus and clear them out first, personally. We've taken that path. What does this link back around to? Also, it's literally just okay, going back around. That's where it was when we go. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, whoops. Alright, let's see what hell's in front of us.
Find something, boy. Death.
Found her.
Oh, fuck. This is the last village, huh? That the Black Shields decided to get to. They're all bearers with marks. They're all slaves.
This was my mother's doing.
Yeah. Oh, that bitch has got to go.
But why? Why would anyone...
I don't know. I never truly understood her. But this...
Oh, Clive.
I will learn what madness drives her, and I will end it.
Ooh.
We should go.
Yeah, let's not stay. It's not a pleasant sight.
Yes.
And Clive, I appreciate you scaring off the birds. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, though. They're just gonna come back the moment we go.
But if the Black Shields have made it this far south, they...
We're going very far south.
In Port Isolde.
Oh, there's a chance, I can hear them. I can hear the fucking birds are coming back. There's a chance, Clive's uncle's gonna be in danger. A good chance. We need to kind of get over there then.
We're approaching Buick Bridge. Though I doubt the Empire would let us cross over to Rosalith.
Sure. Yeah, we might have some trouble in our hands.
Didn't happen to come by way of Oldhill, did you? Saw some Imperials clad in black making for the docks just the other day.
I wouldn't go down there yet, dude.
You couldn't see the sun for all the ravens.
Oh, you already know then. Oh yeah, they're not going to let us pass. So we have to go around. What's this say? In honor of the 250th anniversary of the founding of the Grand Duchy of Rosaria.
They tell us there's a curfew, but then refuse us passage back to our homes.
Passage to the provincial capital is restricted to Imperial Army personnel.
The gates are closed. Become.
They're all Rosarian.
But this is their home.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, the Duchess is proving herself to be very terrible and nothing more. Just an atrocious woman who wanted power but with no ability to do anything with it. I was like, what's targeting me? I didn't even spot these guys. Oh, you're not dead. I thought I got you. I want to go talk to the crabs. Look at these guys. Devil crab. I bet as soon as I pick these up, these all jump out. Like, I bet that's a crab. Let's find out. Yeah. Oh, they don't have much health though. Oh, trophy unlocked. Fatal Attraction. Defeat 5 enemies in the air using Deadly Embrace. Oh. Using this. Got it. And the game paused for a sec because once again, the moment you bring up anything off the PlayStation menu, it pauses the game. That wasn't it crashing, don't worry. I feel bad because it's Sid's power, but I think when we get a 4th power, I might swap off Ramu, because it's the only one that I kind of don't have much of a use for yet. Maybe it gets like better later on, or it's like you just get better at using it, but at least for now, it's like the one that... Like, this one is good for warping around, this one's for like yanking enemies around and has a good counter skill with this. This one is more like setup, but it's like there's not much to set up on, so it feels kind of like eh.
The Lazarus.
We can't enter the town.
Place?
My mother happened. The nobles who lived here didn't stand a chance. Let's hope my uncle fared better.
This might catch all of them, right? Yeah! I was like, this looks like a good position. There's more of them. I know there is. Let's just go around.
That's the main gate. And it looks like we're not the only ones hoping to get in.
Okay, I can't see anything down there.
Let us pass! My children are starving!
Have mercy!
Viceland's dogs they are! You can't ignore us forever!
Let us in, or we'll die on your doorstep!
Better out there than in here!
More than enough for us to get in!
And the chinless bastards! Those crystals belong to us all!
I said, where were you, filth?
Back to your sties!
Cut you down where you stand!
Destroy it!
No chance of slipping through unnoticed. We'll need to find another way in.
Yeah, we'll cause too much of a ruckus. There's already a ruckus over there.
I thought we might be able to reason with the guards. Or at least bribe them.
I suspect everyone in that crowd thought the same. Was that the only way in?
Officially, yes. Strictly speaking, no. My uncle once told me that the nobles had tunnels built, so that they could visit town without having to walk amongst the rabble. The Lazarus. We'll find our way into the city there.
If you're sure. And the entire place looked abandoned. Do you think it's safe?
As long as it is abandoned.
The black light burns. New chapter. So we're going back to, yeah, this and going through the old town.
Seen a single black shield since Old Hill.
Maybe they found who they were looking for.
Who could our mysterious potential ally be? And I wonder if it's Joshua. Since this story seems to be relatively tightly knit with its cast. Oh, whoops.
This is nothing like I remember it.
Now, clear crown can lose its luster.
Oh, there is something over here. This is what I mean. The chests are so tiny. They're easy to just miss. No, this way we're going. Oh, this way we are going. Cutscene.
Not abandoned then.
Oi! Visitors!
Oh, this looks like an MMO team.
Apologies. We'll show ourselves out.
Oh, for God's sake. Yep. Alright, you asked for this.
Or not.
I like how Clive did genuinely try to, like, just walk away. Oh, only one will kill you, right? Or not. That will do. Just kicked you off a wall.
I've only ever seen one man fight like that. And he's long dead.
Then perhaps it's time you joined him.
Blessing of the Phoenix. It can't be. I was there when you died. Huh?
Oh, as he recognizes us, he's gonna be like, "You're Clive!"
Forgive me, my lord. I knew not whom I addressed. You have naught to fear from us. Founder, it really is you.
It is. So Wade.
Wade lived? Give that man a hug. Wade lived? Fuck yes.
We can speak inside.
Oh, I would give him like a proper bro hug for that. Aw, Wade was cool. Wade is cool, I mean. He's still alive, not was.
And those who wouldn't bend the knee?
We left before the Empire could make examples of us, though we didn't go far. And we banded together to form the Guardians of the Flame soon after. Alas, there is only so much a handful of aging shields can do against the might of an empire. But we've seen to it that their stay has been anything but pleasant. Of late, though, we've had our hands full just trying to keep the Duchy's few remaining bearers out of the Imperial's clutches.
The Cullings. We saw what happened in Old Hill.
Aye, the foul work of the Black Shields and their mistress.
You mean my mother? But it doesn't make sense. Even knowing what I know about her. Her hatred for bearers was no secret, but she wouldn't have been ignorant of their value to the realm.
No offense, my lord. But in case you haven't noticed, the Lady Annabella couldn't care less about the realm. She barely even cares for her own home. That much has been plain since the slaughter at Eastpool. And, since granting the Holy Emperor a new heir, her obsession with bearers only seems to have grown. As to why, I don't know.
Maybe she can't bear the thought of anyone having the power to challenge her beloved son.
Her son.
Sir Wade, the Black Shields have broken camp. They march in full force for Buick Bridge.
Then so do we. Make ready. This is their main host. If we remove the head, perhaps we can prevent what happened at the docks from happening somewhere else. If I do nothing, then the blood of their next victims will be on my hands.
Yours and ours. We too have witnessed the crimes these men who dare call themselves shields have committed in my mother's name. It cannot be allowed to continue. We must put a stop to this madness.
We must. So let us go with you. For the good of Rosaria.
I was hoping you'd say that. Very well. If that is your wish, I would be honored to serve at your side.
Hell yes. Welcome back, Wade.
And we at yours.
So, Wade, let us do our duty.
With pleasure, my lord.
Good to see you, dude. Shame about the other one. Was it Sir Tyler? Where's he gone?
Will require more than just our wits.
Then let's hope Sir Wade has a good quartermaster.
Also, sorry for like beating you all up. You did start it.
In the flesh.
We'll show them that the fire in our hearts
At least
is
you're not dead.
so easily quenched.
What's the shop selling?
You are welcome to what little we have managed to salvage.
Nah, I'm good. Ooh, desert roses. I will buy a number of them.
Of course, my lord. It has been an honor.
You know, I named the title of this stream Off to Find Hugo because I thought we were going to go get Cupca like now. I didn't realize we was going to detour and like deal with the mother first, so I'll have to change the title of this stream in post to something more accurate.
Tell us then, Sir Wade. What is your plan?
Nothing fancy. You, Lady Jill and I make for Buick Bridge and provoke the main host at their encampment. Sensing an opportunity to end the Guardians, the Black Shields will call for reinforcements, who will be met from the rear by parties of my brothers hidden throughout the surrounding hills. This will allow us to wage battle on the bridge without fear of being
Battle on the bridge? Has it got Battle on the bridge? Another fun little cute little reference.
Fighting small units, which we can use to our advantage.
Is it a big bridge?
How small exactly?
Small
Is it a clash on the big bridge?
Now that I have you and Lady Jill,
It's a great track.
I doubt I could have done this on my own.
But until we arrived, that was your plan. You haven't changed a bit.
So Wade, the bearers from Oldale have been laid to rest.
Very good. Now make ready for battle.
As you command.
Thank you, Sir Wade. Perhaps now they will find peace.
There is but one thing which will grant them peace. Putting an end to the Black Shields.
And so we shall.
Whoops, I went to turn my mic back on and I pressed the heart button. Throughout the main scenario, Clive will often be joined by various companions who are keen to lend their assistance. However, depending on Clive's destination, they may choose to remain behind at the hideaway. Oh, so if we're in this area... where is it? Yeah, guests. Another thing borrowed from 12. Guest party members. So when we're in this area, Wade's with us. But if we go to a different area, Wade won't be with us. Got it. Cool. So this is the main party. And this is just the area party. So depending on where we are, things change. Cool. Alright, let's go. Make our way up to the bridge.
May the blessing of the Phoenix go with you.
How long have you been pursuing the Black Shields?
Since they burned their first village. We tracked down the bastards responsible and fed their corpses to Stillwind. Suffice to say, that got their attention. It's been a game of cat and mouse ever since.
Faster!
People are running away. Trouble's already started.
Come along now.
It's already working then if they're luring.
On your command, my lord.
On cutscene first, I was getting ready to just dive straight in. The mages look kind of stupid. I get like the hoods and everything, but still got the helmets and what on.
We bear a message for the Vicereine. From the Guardians of the Flame.
Ha! You presume to tell us that a pair of filthy vagabonds, a woman and a dog, could guard aught against the might of the Black Shields? Then come! Die along with your flame! For Azaria!
For Azaria!
Your petty revolution ends here.
Yeah, of course it does.
On these our swords we swear. Over here!
It's always so fun when all the enemies are like, hey, all your efforts die here, and then we just destroy them.
Bloody hell! Reinforcements from the far bank!
Another wyvern to fight their battles for them.
The Imperials aren't taking any chances. I can't say I'm flattered.
Oh, you weren't even shooting at me. Oh, okay, whoops. I thought this thing was, so I was getting ready to like charge and everything.
Fire and flame!
Oh, fuck, a dragoon.
A noble stand, albeit a misguided one. In taking it, you have but proven our point. That this land is in dire need of cleansing.
Absolutely a dragoon. Alright, bring it on, bitch.
There's no one left to keep them occupied. We need to finish this.
You ain't finish him.
Fuck, I didn't know Garuda wasn't charged, I wasn't looking. I was just hoping it would be charged with a dodge, it wasn't yet. Gotcha. Oh wow, we got a lot.
I don't see any more.
Nor do I. The plan worked.
It did. It bloody worked. We sent every last one of the rotten bastards straight to the mud. Lord, perhaps this will be enough to stop the Cullings. For the time being, at least.
Perhaps. Though I doubt my mother will take this loss well. She'll move swiftly to see her minions' ranks replenished.
And then it will all begin again. I often wonder if the nation we once knew is gone for good. Her fields rot. Her people starve. We battled to preserve the flame that was, but for every foe we fell, another springs up in its place. Yet be that as it may, it is still our home, and we must fight for it. As we always have, and always will. For as long as the Firebird's flame burns in our hearts, the Duchy cannot die. And her loyal subjects may dream of a day when the Rosarian standard flies over Rosalith once more.
So wait,
Think we should fall back to Port Isolde before the garrison sends reinforcements? A sound strategy, my lord.
Heh. Always the charmer, Wade. Cool. So the next proper mission is going to be storming Rosario, isn't it? Like the next actual proper mission level and not just field exploring.
And how long has my uncle been funding you and your comrades' endeavors?
Since the beginning. Lord Byron was the first person I turned to after forming the Guardians. And had I known of this tunnel back then, I wouldn't almost have been hanged by the city guard for trying to sneak over the wall.
I suppose a formal request for an audience would have appeared suspicious.
And
Oh, I love Atelier, Asian COD 16. Speaking of Atelier, we'll be back on Maruru on Monday.
Wind of Lord Byron's involvement in our movement,
Make up for not doing it yesterday, where I just didn't sleep well and was kind of out of it.
He would be of no use to anyone. And so, though it sickens him to the soul,
my intention, obviously things can change and I'll put the schedule up when it's ready. Tomorrow's the scripted video, Monday and Tuesday I'll make Maruru, Wednesday I'll take off, because I could probably do with a week breaker. And then Thursday and Friday, I'm undecided. One of them will be Final Fantasy 16. If we haven't finished Maruru by then, I might make one of those streams of Maruru, but I think 2 streams of Maruru would hopefully be enough to actually finish that game now. Oh, I figured out what was the missing step, by the way. I looked back through it, because we weren't triggering Astrid's questline to start working towards the Potion of Youth. And you have to build the library, and I hadn't done that yet. So when we get back to it on Monday, the first thing we're going to do is start saving points to build a library, because we need 150 for it.
Sure that you do. I don't want my men attacking you again. Unless you deserve it. If only Sir Tyler could have been here to see you. Or the Lord Commander.
Thank you, Sir Wade. If there is ever
I've mentioned it like a few times, but at some point, either at the end of July or at the start of August, it honestly just depends how the schedule goes. I do plan to take a full week off. I know I've had like a mini vacation like the other week, but I plan to take like a full week off at some point. Yeah, do it to my kingdom. Oh no, dude. The problem is, when I finish streaming, if I'm not getting ready for my actual work, it's the same reason why this stream won't be that long, because I'm working again this evening. I'm writing or listening to a podcast whilst like grinding platinums. Like it's a bad habit, but I'm so like set in stone of my habit that it's hard to kind of break out of it and then make sure like, oh yeah, I'll watch like your stuff or whatever, you know. Once you've got your habit in place, it's hard to break it. My controller is vibrating a lot for these footsteps. It might be someone important. I appreciate it.
My uncle believes we're imposters here to rob him. And means to string us up himself.
Imagine my surprise when I was told my nephew had come to visit. Clive Rosefield died long ago. And for uttering his name here, you shall pay with your tongue!
Where's his sword? Where's his sword? Why isn't his sword loaded in?
Mock me as well.
Oh, it's the point. Okay, it's not a glitch. We're mocking him. We don't have a sword. Okay, for a second, for a split second, I'm gonna avoid the game glitch now. No, he's mocking him.
Loyal servant to her serene holiness, Saint Sybil, the Unshod. Meadow, thou vile sorcerer, for thy crimes against church and crown, I shall have thy head.
That's the proof. He's gonna realise it's Clive. Yep. Aww.
Curse thee, infectious flax wench.
So, that's really cute. So these two had their own little thing going on when Clive was a kid, and he's reenacting it to remind him that it's actually Clive.
Very well. I shall open the gates of hell, that thou might see thy charge once more.
And look, he's crying as he says it. Aww.
Bravo, Uncle. You're still the finest Meadow in the twins.
Oh, Clive, my dear boy, it's really you.
Oh, bless him.
Always were fond of that scene from The Saint in the Sanctuary. Never did let me play Sir Crandall.
I have a favour to ask, Uncle Byron.
Rutherford, inform the kitchens. There'll be guests. We dine immediately.
But, Uncle...
You can't very well regale me with the tale of your miraculous preservation on an empty stomach. Go on, sit.
I like this guy already.
See that you use the good plates, Rutherford.
Make sure you use the good plates. I like this guy already.
So you arrived late to one of her cullings, did you? Since becoming Vicereine, Annabella has been a constant thorn in Rosaria's side, but these atrocities are a new low. Something has changed. Quite what, I don't know, but the woman we knew is gone, and a monster sits in her place.
A monster?
For better or worse, I've been charged with governing this town, and thus must maintain the illusion of obedience. That's all I can do to aid Wade and his merry band of revolutionaries.
So he's told us. You have risked much for Rosaria. Our nation will be forever in your debt.
It has been 20 years, Clive. The nation your father and your forefathers fought to defend is no more. Perhaps it would be otherwise had I the courage of my brother. All right, if it's a ship you require, a ship you shall have. I've a galley in port, but recently relieved of her cargo. She can be outfitted for the voyage in a matter of weeks.
So you believe us, then? About everything?
Believe you? Ha! Only a fool would believe even half of the things you claim. But until tonight, only a fool would have believed my nephew still lived. And besides, I have it on good authority that Clive is telling the truth.
Whose authority?
By your own, of course. You've always been a terrible liar.
Is that true?
It's not untrue.
Let's say no more about it.
Oh, okay. Even Jill's like, eh.
The one thing I cannot believe, though, is all this about you being Sid. You were always such a good boy, but now you're quite the outlaw. Which, if I'm not mistaken, would make me an outlaw's uncle. Right then, who shall we pillage first? Rutherford?
Byron's so fun. This guy's great. He's such a charmer.
This will be fun.
He just lives in the moment. I love this guy.
Over there. Go on.
She's a fine ship.
Well, I know
isn't
what
she?
I'm going to be renaming this stream in post then, huh?
Once outfitted,
I'm going to make it about Byron.
she'll bear us across the boiling sea to Drustinus in the space of 3 days.
Something on your mind?
Monsters. When I served the Iron Kingdom, I did so because I saw no other choice. Because once they learned that the lash would not move me, they turned it on those who could. And so I became their puppet. I let them pull my strings, telling myself it was not my hand that swung the sword, but another's. I removed myself from the truth so I wouldn't feel the pain it caused. And before I knew it, I no longer felt anything. Anything at all. I had become a monster.
Jill.
I don't want to be a monster, Clive. Do you understand? I want to choose a different path, a better path. To live on my own terms. But before I can do that, I need to come to terms with my past.
And when you do, I'll be standing there with you, just as you stood with me.
Thank you, Clive. I must atone for my sins. Only then, when it's done, will the monster cease to be.
Just promise me that you won't die with it. Now, let's get some sleep. The journey back to Benham is long.
They're going to be building up the will these two kiss for all fucking game, aren't they? Like, come on. We know they will. We know they will. Come on. They're already like a couple. Come on. They're already like a married couple the way they act. Back to the hideaway we go, huh? I'm just checking something. No, we're good. Here be monsters.
Only the Founder knows what awaits us in the eye.
Oh, we gotta go see the... Okay. Let's go... Oh, it was a side quest. Let's go poke around first.
But Vivian could probably make an educated guess.
I'm guessing because we've got new enemies. I'll say, why is the Hall of Virtue updated? We haven't done any new levels. Or the Arete Stone updated.
I didn't take you for a scholar, Ivan.
Oh, this? Well, it's Valisthea, a culinary pilgrimage.
A cookbook.
I borrowed it from old tomes. Seems there's no creature in the realm so foul it can't be cooked up into something delicious.
Once Alimaruru is finished, I am going to, at least for a smidge, do a couple more streams more focused on FF16, because I want to, like, kind of, not get a move on, because I don't want to rush this game, but move a little quicker on it. Not make it only, like, 1 or 2 streams a week. Like, do a little bit more of this as a focus thing, and then, after a small bit, start Lalua.
If it's my blessing you're hoping for, then by all means.
Well, I'm no hunter, Sid.
But I'm also wary that we're only a few weeks off Alimarie.
Would you help me resurrect one of these recipes?
So I don't want to. I also kind of don't want to be in the middle of the lure and then Marie comes out and we have to start juggling them.
For an answer. Fine.
So we'll see. If it's like, by the time we're done with Marie, if it's like super close to Marie, then I probably will wait until after Marie to start the lure.
Dare I ask what's on the menu?
Chance's Stew. It was once a favourite among the gourmands of Oriflamme, if the author is to be believed.
But in that said, remake or no, it's still based off the original Atalaya game from 1997. I wouldn't be surprised if it's on the shorter side of life, you know, for an Atalaya game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually kind of quick we get through it.
Likely something that would make easy work of a simple cook with more broth than brawn, but unwanted violets. I've no idea what they might be.
Does the book say anything else?
Well, only that the sweetest violets sprout atop the bed of roses.
Roses. Rosaria, perhaps? One of the butchers in Martha's Rest might know something. I'll ask next time I'm there.
Oh, hey, that'll get us some notoriety, so that'll be worth doing. I know it's called Renown, but it's basically a notoriety system, you know? Oh, and there's a plus quest, so that's one worth doing over there.
That monster's taken quite a liking to Lady Karen.
What do you need? So, what'll it be?
Okay, no, our sword's still the best we got. We'll check our letters and wall, and then we'll go pick up the other quest.
Wouldn't be half as bad to hold up a bloody dust.
My Lord Marquis, I ask once again for you to forgive my men for your welcome back at the Lazarius. But certainly you can understand that you are the last person any of us was expecting to see at our gates. In the short time since our reunion, you have shown yourself to be the self-same man I followed into Stillwind those many years ago, a true bearer of your father's legacy. If only Sir Tyler, the Lord Commander, and all those others who were lost that night were still with us as he how bright your flame now burns. To you and your cause, I hereby pledge the sword of the Guardians, and am proud to stand alongside you once again. Thank you, Wade. And what's this one? Gav. The Dalmex and the Imperials are at a standoff. They snarl at each other, fangs bared like slum curs, but neither wants to make the first move. It's almost as if like they're both realizing what single pile of chocobo shit they've stepped in. If I were a man to lay wager, I'd put my copper on this conflict not playing out anytime soon, but I shall keep you appraised. Thank you, Gav. Always the informant. A somewhat stunted, somewhat sweet apple grown from the blighted earth thanks to the dedication and preservation of one woman, Martel. Though she was to lose her life from the wounds she sustained from Kupka's attack at the hideaway, her legacy lives on in the saplings that saved her from the ruins. She saved from the ruins. This wall of memories is going to become the wall of sadness. It's everyone we lost and what they left behind. Alright, let's head on down, pick up that, and then go see what Vivian may know. Unless it's easy enough to do. It seems like we're not starting a new major level today in this stream. It seems like we're mostly just exploring and getting to know the locals and doing some hunts. and really enjoying Clive's uncle. That man is such a gem.
How did we never
Let's see what this guy's got going on. Hey, August.
Clive! Oh, am I glad to see you?
Is something wrong?
It's Blackthorn. He ain't himself. And if I'm honest, he ain't been for a while. Normally it only takes a couple of drinks to perk him back up, but not this time. Something's getting him down. And whatever it is, he ain't telling. It's like he's lost his spark, you know? He's barely got enough fire in his belly to get the ump about stuff. But I'm thinking he might if we both bent his ear, because he respects you, innit? So, what you say?
Considering it's a plus quest, I bet it will upgrade the blacksmith if we do it. Like, we'll be able to make more.
I knew you'd understand.
Let's go check him out, make sure he's doing alright.
We let him be. He'll open up when he's ready.
Alright.
Alright.
Now,
It's a proper commoner guy, this guy, his accent.
So, I'll go first, and you can meet us at the forge. Wait a bit, then head over when you're ready.
Literally make it seem like it's natural. Alright, sure. What have you got to say?
How are you doing?
How are you doing?
Catch your eye?
Right, nothing else around. So we're just going to meet him at the bypass.
I could have sworn we had a few more. That monster's taking quite a liking to me.
Oh, he does look a bit well, moodier than usual.
First August, and now you. What are you pair up to? What's it got to do with me?
August was worried that something had been weighing on your mind. I thought you might want to talk about it.
Did you now? I told you not to stick your nose in my business. What'd you go and do?
Clive just wants to help, innit? What's so bad about that? Talk to him. You never know, you might feel better for getting it all out in the open. Please, mate. I'm worried about you.
Phil shut you up. It's nothing really. Stupid. Not the sort of thing you bother people about.
Why don't you tell us all the same?
Karen and I have an arrangement. I keep an eye on Goots, and she shows me what the competition's up to. Interesting arms and armor, things like that. Anyway, the other day, she shows me a cuirass she's come by. Masterpiece of level work. Light, supple, and tougher than it had any right to be. Made my stuff look like heavy, clumsy shit. I should have brought the bastard thing there and then just to study it, but I was too proud. Now, every time I reach for my hammer, I'm reminded that I'm not the craftsman I thought I was. There. You happy? You got what you came for. Now piss off.
Alright. We're going.
Alright, so we're going to go buy it then. That's what it's going to be.
I always thought of old Blackthorn as a bit of a force of nature. Like a storm cloud full of ale. Didn't think anything could rattle him. Least of all a stupid piece of leather.
Blackthorn's always taken pride in his craft. Questioning it means questioning himself. Something tells me this is only going to get worse. If he has doubts, it will affect his work, which will only add to his problems. We need to nip this in the bud.
I couldn't agree more.
He said he should have bought that cuirass. Perhaps we should track it down for him. Assuming you're happy to help, that is.
Too bloody right I am.
Glad to hear it. First things first, then. We need to speak to Karen.
They're pronouncing. I know it's probably more accurate, but I'm used to hearing cuirass, not cuirass.
Not a monster. He's talking.
Hey, Karen.
Karen, do you have a moment? Blackthorn mentioned that you'd recently come by a leather cuirass. An exquisite example of the craft, from what he told us.
And he ain't been himself since he saw it. So we thought we'd buy it for him.
Sorry, sold it already. Didn't think Blackthorn cared for it the way he turned his nose up. But it was nicely put together, that's for certain. Even if the bloke who made it is a bit of an odd one. Happened across him on my travels. Makes all his stuff to order, but the fella who commissioned it refused to pay. He didn't like the colour of summit. So I took it off his hands for a fair price.
You don't know where we might find him, do you?
Like I said, he's a bit of an odd one. Doesn't even have a workshop. He don't trust hunters neither, which means he spends as much time out tracking beasties as he does working their hides.
I see.
He did tell me something, though. Apparently, his next commission's for a set of griffin hide greaves.
Here, there's a griffin on the hunt board. The curse breakers were placing bets on who'd bag it. Now, where the bleeding hell was it sighted? Somewhere in Sambrec, maybe?
Oh, we go over to that hunt. We can lure him in and find out.
Thank
Got
you,
it.
Karen. We'd be lost without you.
At least you admit it.
So, it sounds like going after that griffin might be the best chance we have of finding our roaming leatherworker.
I'll leave the hunting to you if you don't mind.
Yeah, no worries.
While you get on with that, I'll ask around the markets. See if I can't sniff out who he is and where he's hiding.
Good idea. Hopefully one of us will be able to track him down.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak to Tomes, and we're gonna go to the hunt board, find it, go deal with it. So Vivian's gonna have to wait. Vivian we might talk to next stream, to be honest, so I'm gonna wrap up soonish. I'll probably do this hunt, but go speak to the butcher at the at Martha's Rest while we're at it, and then circle around.
See you, Clive. I have compiled some new entries, if you would like to see them.
And to be honest, my throat's starting to like get a bit dry and a bit stingy. I've been drinking water and whatnot, but it's starting to get a bit like sharp. So I think it'll be a good time to kind of wrap up a little bit. I'm gonna head up. No worries, dude. Like I said, I'm gonna do these hunts and then wrap up myself. We're not gonna advance the story anymore today. As in, I'll be back streaming on Monday. Tomorrow's Doom 2, the scripted video. Hey, Nectar. Let's have a look at this hunt. Karen Norven, Westgate, Sunbreck. Westgate, okay. And you have something new to say. Did I hear you say you haven't hunted down a griffin, Kupo? Then have I got a belay for you, Kupo? Especially a horrible one that's called, Dosmere. Oh, right, it's just like, hey, it's go. Westgate. Where is it? Hang on. That's Martha's Rest. Let's just warp in and we can figure it out from there. In a sec. Hang on. Because it is in Sunbreg. I'm not going mad. Yeah, Northern Westgate, Sunbreck. Rivergate. Oh, okay. Got his gate, set a passage. Hangman. Eastwatch. Baywatch. Penitent Gate. Unnamed Chapel. fuck is it? I'm looking for something that just says West. I'll try West Watch. But it's not a gate, it's a tower.
How the hell is anyone supposed to...
How the hell?
You want a spot on the Dominion Wall?
Oh, come on. Gonna make me go around and try and find a gap. And this might not even be the correct path. I'm just hoping.
Good girl.
Because I don't know where else I could be looking. Because there's a gate there, but I don't think that's Westgate. I don't know. There's Rivergate, which is more westward, so maybe. I'm gonna go check this first. And if not, we'll warp over and just look around. We're basically gonna check all the gates until we get it. Excuse me, Dragonets, I'm not here for you. Doesn't look like there's a griffin over here. Let's try this. So we're just going to check the gates until we find what we're looking for. That's the westmost gate, so let's try Vinter's Gate. If I struggle to find it, like in like for the next few minutes, I will wrap up and then just figure it out where it is off screen and come back for it then. Unless he's got something to say.
Tell your curse breakers they're welcome in Lost Wing anytime.
Actually, what I could do, hang on. I'll just look it up. Oh, it is here. It is down here. I was humming on this one. Okay, I just looked it up. Just save time wasting. Right, how are we getting down there, though?
Good day to you.
This place looks like it's doing a lot better in 5 years.
You're quite talented with that rod of yours.
Jesus. Above us. That was a sentence and a half that Barrett has said. Right, I'm going the right way. But as soon as we're out of the town, we can open our chocobo so we can get down there way quicker.
Run like the wind.
Oh jeez, get off the... It's like trying to steer a race car, this thing. The things are so low level, let's just keep moving. Yep, excuse me. Every time I click on and off the map, my right trigger gets like the resensitized. So because you hold it down and it puts pressure on the trigger for the chocobo. So it's like I let my finger just gets like a little buzz from the trigger every time I bring the map back. I'm just making sure we're still on the right track. I know it's a linear path, but still. Oh, oh.
Griffins don't exactly make for easy prey. Let's hope our craftsman hasn't bitten off more than he can chew.
Uh-oh. Yep. Yep, it's gonna show up. And there it is. Literally chilling on the wall. Dozmer. Alright, bring it on, bitch. We got ya.
Leather work will have to wait.
Look sharp.
Got fucking interrupted. Everything's super interrupter in base. Oh, back up. So if you get hit with that first strike, you can't get out of it. You're just stuck in it. Good, nearly half. Uh-oh.
Too slow.
Yeah, if you get caught on the flick up, you just get hit. You don't have a choice in the matter. Shit. come on, nearly there. One more, and we're good. Oh, back up, back up. Too soon. I'm gonna get bopped again. Oh.
You're finished.
Fuck yeah. I was like, hang on, if I'm stunned, does that also mean I'm locked out from doing the attack? I'm gonna try it, and it let me do it. And when we can turn this quest in, we can also get our new reward, because we're over 100 points.
Is something there, boy? Could that be our man? Are you all right?
Dare say I'll survive. That griffin caught me before I could get an arrow off. Must have lost sight of me in the grass, though. I'd be dead if it hadn't.
More likely than not.
The name's Camille. I'm a lowly leather worker, if you couldn't tell by the smell of me.
Not so lowly from what I hear. Do you remember selling to a merchant by the name of Karen?
She's not an easy woman to forget. Bought a cuirass from me after I lost my buyer. Quite taken with my work, as far as I recall. Didn't stop her bartering me down to a pittance, though. She sent you for a refund?
It's not her who sent me.
Well, consider me flattered.
You should be. He's a master of his art, and not an easy man to impress.
Blacksmiths are proud folk. It's a rare thing indeed for one to praise a glorified tanner. And I don't imagine an impressive swordsman like yourself would be getting your steel from any but the best. I'd dearly love to help a fellow craftsman, but... Well, actually, I suppose you could give him this.
What is it?
Treated leather. Same stuff I used to make that cuirass. If your man's as skilled as he sounds, he'll know what he's looking at.
You sure?
Well, you did save my life. And thanks to you, I'll be going home with all the griffin hide I can carry. I'd say it's the least I can do. Short of showing him how to make the thing myself, that is. But there are rules against it. Secrets of the trade and whatnot.
In that
Yeah,
case,
makes sense. You want to go head back? Oh, we need to go check Martha's rest as well, but we'll head back.
Right. I've got some griefs to make. You send your blacksmith my regards.
Will do. And thank you. Hopefully this will sweeten Blackthorn's mood.
Actually, for the sake of wrapping up soonish, I'll do Martha's rest next time we meet. Just because my throat's really starting to like get quite hot, and I'm not really sure why. Hopefully, I haven't caught anything else. That'd be fucking miserable. I think it's more that I've just exhausted it, but I've been streaming a lot this week. And so, yeah, my throat's going more. I'd rather wrap it up sooner rather than later. So let's turn this back and then see where we go.
How'd it go, Clive? Did you find him, or does the hunt continue?
I found him. And he asked me to give you this, along with his regards.
You're joking.
He said he wouldn't teach you how to work it, but that if you were as skilled as you sounded, you'd have no trouble understanding how it was done.
So that's his secret. Crafty bastard. He's layered and cross-grained it. Good few times, too. No wonder it's tough. And that's no ordinary oil he's used to get that finish. Oh, this is fine work. Even finer than I thought.
Yeah? I'll take your word for it. Just looks like leather to me. Still, I'm glad you're happy. Here, Clive. You didn't happen to catch the fella's name, did you?
Camille, I believe.
I thought as much. There ain't many leather workers in the realm daft enough to do their own hunting, see? And his name kept cropping up when I was asking around. Turns out he's from Tabor. And again, most leather workers are. But our friend Camille guards a long-held family secret, the details of which are the subject of some debate in the leather-working community.
Then we better keep this close to our chests.
Listen, sorry for putting the both of you to all that trouble. Should have kept my moaning to myself. Still, I'm glad you found him. This has cheered me right up.
That was the idea. Clive's idea, anyway. He did most of the work.
It's good to have you back, Blackthorn.
Just don't expect me to go turning out work like this. There's a reason he does his own hunting. He knows exactly what hides to look for. And that's how he gets them to layer up so nicely. And don't get me started on how much oiling this leather would need. But I reckon I can make something about as good. Something a Cursebreaker will have no trouble caring for. Anyway, enough narrowing. I've got work to be getting on with.
Looks like we won't be needing a new blacksmith.
Yay! All's well that ends well.
That wouldn't have been the same anyway. No one spins a yarn like old Blackthorn in his cups.
Heh.
Right, now that's sorted, I've got duties to attend to. Thanks, Clive. You've given me my mate back.
Aww. Drake Slayer belt. Ooh. Alright, let's see if we can make it. Obtain a design draft for the Drake Slayer's belt. Drafts unlock new crafting options at the hammer. Visit him to find out.
Clive. Not saying for you, do you?
Ah, okay. It's from a hunt, at least. It's telling us, but not yet. I have to keep that in mind for later. Alright, let's go get our reward for reaching high enough renown, and then I'll be wrapping up. And it'll be a little while again before we next meet our Final Fantasy stream, but hopefully that can start to change once we're done with Maruru, but we'll see how it goes.
How did we never hear about these Guardians of the Flame?
Oh, I wasn't expecting you back. You earned this.
A Rose of Rose Orchestral Roll, an Empty Shard. Cleric's Medallion, Dire Wolf Dress, and then it will expand more at 350. Okay.
All done?
Alright, I think that'll do for us. I will... Oh, it doesn't really matter where we save, does it? Didn't mean to do that. Oh well. Actually, I can do this. I fucking did it again. I'm an idiot. Hang on. I wasn't expecting it to scroll it up. There we go. Only me. Anyway, sorry about my throat being a bit off this stream. Don't know what that's about. Hopefully it's nothing. Tomorrow is my scripted video, and I'll be back on Monday for more Atelier Maruru. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It genuinely really helps this channel grow. And additionally, you can find my Twitter, Patreon or PayPal in the description of every video if you feel so inclined. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys then. Peace.